Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. My name is J3 Puffin, and I am here joined today by Blank
I
and first time guest on this program, but not first time appearance on the channel, Kaze.
Hello.
We're here to talk about a little pet project of mine for a while now, recently remastered and brought to the forefront. Phase Connect, Volume 1 of at least two that are in the works. Phase Connect is one of the several other VTuber agencies that exist. Hololive isn't the only name in town. Nijisanji isn't the only name in town. We do have others, and
Aogiri High School.
right, that one's hitting twice officially. This one,
Yeah,
this
I
one's
think it's
not.
so funny.
Yeah, I know, right? Like of all the...
I never heard of it before that. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, the guys, new Hololive. It's VTubers. Buy it. They
No.
put it in Rebirth too. It's so funny.
Oh my god! Right, the double push. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, Face Connect isn't getting that. They do, ironically, have stake in a game called Oshi Push, the like VTuber themed Smash Up game, or whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know. It looked like Smash Up to me, but maybe also that Marvel mobile game.
Oh,
Uh,
Marvel Snap. They made appearances on that.
Well, the game Oshi Push looks like Marvel Snap to me as an outsider because I've never tried Marvel Snap, but it looked mechanically like it had some commonalities. I don't know.
okay, okay. So Phase Connect is in Oshi Push. Hololive is in Rebirth, Weiss, and also its own card game now.
Yep.
And then you have like the independent ones running V card, and I'm just like,
There's like three different independent VTuber card games because there's V Card, which sucks. There's V Royale,
yeah,
which has like it looks like it's gonna do, it's at least more mechanically interesting, and it's got Rin Penrose in it. Shout out to Rin Penrose. Uh,
Shout out to Rin Penrose.
and then I think there's some other one I think as well because I don't know, brain. But yeah, there's a few of these things, and I have wanted forever. Once Oshi Push came out, I was like, no, I don't want to play that game. It doesn't look like a thing I want to do. I want to play them in Weiss. And so I built a Weiss set around them, and it had like 27 climaxes in it, and I realized, no, we can't do that. So here we are. We've broken it up into two sets and done some reworks. Speaking of climaxes, let's take a look at this set breakdown.
We're about the game, guys.
Yep.
Gaming.
122 card main set, two promos. We have no trial deck here because trying to figure out how to break down what I had already and then put trial decks around it, it's like, nah. We'll do it this way, it'll be okay. Climaxes. So we have two choice, a bar, two door, two standby, one bank, and two magnify, which we'll review in a minute, but I feel like people may actually know what those are at this point just a little bit. And then we have three stock souls, all of them level 1 or lower stock souls. One in yellow, one in green, and one in blue.
Okay. Why can't anybody just make 100 card sets anymore? Like that's what I just don't. Okay, so like you could have just picked 20 cards. Like red and blue are the biggest, right? So you just like, well, okay, we'll take 20 cards out of it, put them in a TD. That's it. That's all you had to do. It's like, oh, these are trial deck cards. But
So,
instead, it's like, no, the main set is 125 bajillion cards. That I just think it's funny because like
It
the
is
last,
funny. I will say, when you see a majority of the cards, it will make sense why it's a larger set, given how some of the cards interact. And we'll get more into that as it goes.
the primary
and then
concern that I had was that I didn't want to be quote unquote relegating members to trial deck. And I didn't have a way to split it up because there's like 25, 26 members in Phase Connect.
okay, so in the honestly in this set, I don't even have that much of a problem with it because like all the like Hololive's fucking massive. There's like 140 or something insane.
144 and 145.
Jesus. Um, but like I we did Fire Emblem, right? And it was like, oh, there's 120 some odd cards in the main set, and I'm just like, Why? You
Fair.
definitely could have just put the Ike level 1 combo in a TD. Like, that card wasn't even like that good, in my opinion. You just put that in the TD. There you go. You have a TD. You just put some bullshit in there. Like, call it a day. It was so weird. The other thing to note is green doesn't have, like, you can't run 8 bar, 8 bank, and then all the stock souls are in a different color, which is interesting. But
Yeah.
that was the only thing I noted from there.
The deck construction within the, like, given the climax routes was very difficult when I was making evaluations on this set. And so it's like I could see a world where you do modify stuff to be like have another bank, so it does feel a little bit more like coherent as a strat. But if you're looking at it in the scope of like having a second set utilizing the same card mechanics and such, I could see it like just kind of being accented in the follow up support.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm angling for at the moment. Note, we just don't have pants trigger entirely in this set,
Yeah.
and we have one bar. Climax assurance is a little bit weird. That is admittedly one of the things on the bucket list for set 2 is to have just straight up a pair of pants. Climax is there's at least one bar in there. I think also another bank, so you can run 8 bank. It definitely is one of those things where it's like, because I knew we had 2 sets going in, it's like I will kind of be okay if set 1's a little bit awkward, but it's more really a question of, is it going to be completely unplayable at the start, or if there's some stuff that needs to actually be like toned down from where it is right now because of like synergies I'm not seeing.
All right, 2 things. 1, we know for a fact that the gooners watching this video don't want their VTubers to have pants. 2, I didn't know there was a second set until like we started recording.
Yeah. That is still like in progress. Literally, I am banking some of my future decisions for that on how this review goes.
Dude, he said banking, guys. That's so funny. He put bank in his set.
On the note of pants, like if you don't have to show up on location, you're remote. Why would you want pants?
Yeah, who needs them? Ban pants.
Ban pants.
Just ban pants.
Actually, I like the trigger, but the other part, the IRL part. Arch.
What do we
trigger.
get instead of pants, though?
Yeah,
Good segue. Let's go.
So instead of pants and instead of one of the bars that would undoubtedly be in the set anyway, we have Bank Trigger and Magnify Trigger. Both these have appeared before. Magnify a couple of sets now. Bank we literally talked about in Fire Emblem, but in case you did not watch that or just want to be reminded again, Bank is on trigger, search your stock for a card, put it into your hand, shuffle your stock. If you did search and grab something, blind stock, and then put the bank on top. And then Magnify is on trigger, search your deck for a character with level equal to or less than your level +1, and add it to hand, so kind of like a search equivalent of standby. Both of these are 1K1s as they've appeared in other sets. Back when I originally drafted Magnify, it wasn't, and then we did Scooby-Doo, and I realized it just felt so much better doing it that way than the weird shenanigans I was trying to do with it be like an on-play search instead. So shoutouts to Scooby-Doo and Umineko and the other people who have worked on this trigger and helped me see the light on that.
Magnify is such a cool trigger. I love it. I love it to death. I want it in real life.
I want Discover trigger from I think it's either Blau or Rosé got Discover. But this is also cool. I hate triggering doors when I don't have a waiting room. So like this is like the reverse door, which I think is sick. Also, soul trigger on it is insane. It's like my door had a soul trigger.
I feel like it's balanced specifically because it has limitations on what card selection you have depending on your level. So like early game, you're not able to like with the door you can just salvage your level 3 fairly early, and you don't have any stipulation on it. Whereas this, like you can't get your 3 until you're at level 2 and triggering the Magnify trigger. So like there's a little bit of a leeway, and like that's why it has the benefit of the trigger. But I can understand like where it has a lot of value and power just by having a soul trigger innately.
I think it's funky, right? Because it's supposed to be like the standby equivalent, but it's a 1k one. So it's like, well, the reason standby is a soul trigger is because it doesn't give any soul. And the level restriction is like, well, they value search more than salvage, even though I enjoy like salvage brainstorms and stuff more. So it's interesting. I don't really have a problem with it per se. I was just like, yo, this is dope. This has a soul trigger.
And we actually gave green a soul trigger like climax, which they did not have before. After like so long of just seeing like bars everywhere, it's like we need something else to do.
No, bro, just play Kami-sama, slam a 2 soul.
I mean,
It's green and has a soul and has soul triggers on it, guys. Come on.
now that I have actually played some of that combo, you're not wrong.
My God, I love that deck.
Yeah, that was disproportionately fun.
Only having one bank to play with in general in the set might have just like limited my experience in like how frequently I could trigger it and get like overall evaluate it in games. So like it's harder for me to evaluate bank versus magnify. There's much less parallel between any other card interactions. So like I'll need more time and more banks to be able to like give more accurate evaluation for it.
That's fair.
Kaze, have you played this set?
It's in the sim.
Okay.
Been messing around with it, at least against the AI.
Just for reference, I like going into your sets blind because you always pull out something crazy, and then I like either lose my mind or think I lose my mind and come back, or you know what I mean.
In the midst of like an infinite, it's so over. We found a single. We're so back.
We're so bad.
It'll be a cool contrast, to be honest, because like hearing your responses will be pretty interesting, given that like I have a little bit of knowledge on the stuff.
I like that we're tackling it from all angles for sure.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get into some of that tackling, starting with the yellow cards. So I've broken down this set review a little bit differently. I've actually just sorted each of the colors by character, because every character that has a full complement of cards has 4 cards in it. It's just like, we'll just run through everyone's packages as we come across them. So our first candidate is Amanogawa Shiina. She is fittingly first because she is sort of my Oshi for this group, if I have to pick one. Which means that, of course, I had to give her a card that has Ayame on it. So this is an on-play level swap. A card in your level for a Phase Connect character in your winning room. Phase Connect character is a global trait. We're going to be seeing quite a bit of it. And also, she is an on-attack discard card twin drive. So she's slightly better than the Ayame and Hololive, even.
I don't actually have much for this.
I like this profile in general because hand to stock can be extremely valuable. The level swap can be very important in certain build pathings, and or for color fix. It's useful, and this card in general just kind of like fits a lot of the things that you might need to do in some of the pathings for the set.
Is there experience in this set?
Oh, yeah.
This is good to know. I guess I'll give it the plus for being in the experience set, but I think it's mostly fine. I prefer the stuff like the Hasu one or the Spy Family one, where it's like pay one or clock yourself. But the hand to thing version is good if you're running like bar, but this set only has 1 bar, so.
True.
There's many times where you're going to want some extra trigger checks throughout the set, and this having that as an option is really nice.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of extra trigger checks, we have it Kaze, then Blink on the little thing about too. Kaze, take it away.
Alright, so this profile we've seen it was introduced in Eurocamp. This is the brainstorm. Auto effect when you trigger a climax or the brainstorm itself, like another copy of it, you're gonna look at the top 2 and rearrange, choose a character and give it 1,000 power. This is very fun, and Puffins definitely had this in a couple of the sets, and he just calls it very powerful brainstorm, and it's really funny. And instead of a salvage brainstorm, it is a Millforce search brainstorm for Phase Connect. I love this profile. The top deck knowledge is incredible. The extra power is great. These kinds of brainstorms are dope. I think this is like one of the best kind of brainstorm profiles you can have in a modern Y set.
I think this card is awesome. I think this art is awesome. There's a chandelier on it. I freaking love chandelier. I'm looking more at chandelier than I'm looking at her, but that's that's just for this card. Just for this card, I promise.
Also, you want
I
a
wish
cookie?
it was a salvage. Dude, I would love a cookie on my. Actually, no, I don't, because I have a triple chocolate cheesecake slice right here.
Oh shit.
But
Oh,
yeah,
notable other thing, it does have the PC alias trait. Keep that in mind for later.
I am going to give it this. I haven't actually played with the Eurocamp one. I know Kaze has. I'm giving it a lower rating because I much prefer Salvage Brainstorm to Search. The only time I played a Search Brainstorm recently is the one from Sneaker, and that's just because it has Alia on it.
Yeah, I am also in the camp that I normally do prefer Salvage Brainstorm over Search. It's been long enough since I made that decision that I don't actually remember why.
I think you just wanted to change the pace of it, right? Because like you have in the other color, the salvage was just more efficient, if memory serves.
That tracks. Also, this is ostensibly an option for a brainstorm in a standby deck. It's probably not the one that you're going to see in the her gen standby deck, the alias deck that has a standby in it, because it's it's a little bit unusual. But we'll talk about that when we get to red, though. I love this art. I was debating about dealing with like the Pokemon stuff on it or not, but it's like it's perfectly fine. Like this is a fan set. Who gives a shit about copyright and IPs?
To be honest, man, you crushed it with the art in the set. It's so sick.
There's just enough good fan art. It feels like there's definitely been cases where I've had to like squeak by, but like they're popular enough at this point that they have enough fan art that I'm like I am satisfied with this.
I do want to ask, just because like we're covering all of her cards first. What's going on with her hair? It's kind of dope. It's like constellations, right?
Yeah. So a little bit of lore stuff for her because I think it actually covers into the next card as well. Her lore is that she is a quote unquote celestial seamstress. All the Phase Connect characters kind of live in a quote unquote phase world thing, which is some sort of like other world where either they get isekai'd into or they're like visiting us from or something like that. But basically, for that world, that she is the one who actually sat up and like literally hand stitched the stars into the sky. That like the backside of her hair is like constellations, night sky kind of thing. You can actually see like the lines drawn out. I think on the first card as well. Yeah, you've got like a.
That makes the scissors in her hair make sense too.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of cool.
She'll give you the snip snip if you're not careful.
Whoa.
Scary.
She says it herself.
Right. It's fine. All right. Guess I'm backing off. Got to pick a different Phase Connect girl now. I love the stars.
What, you don't want to take that shot?
No, bro. I'm not about the yandere types, man.
Oh, she's not a yandere. She's not a yandere.
Yeah, but if she's got scissors, it's close enough, bro. If she's got the scissors, it's close enough.
Not worth the risk. Not worth
Not
the
worth
risk.
the risk, man. What, one bad argument, you get a scissor in your shoulder. It's not happening.
Yeah, she's pretty chill. She's pretty gamer as far as things go. She's a Warhammer enjoyer.
Oh, I see.
A lot of things to like about her. Anyway.
Stitching the Sky. I can't read this name. During your turn, if you have another Phase Connect character, gets 3k. This card has a soul trigger on choice. We love to see that on level 1 combos especially. Experience. You discard 1 on attack for cost when we get there. At the end of this card's attack, if Can We Just Cuddle, wonderful climax name, is in your climax area and your level has a green or red card, and you have 3 or more other Phase Connect characters, you may pay cost. If you do, choose up to 2 Phase Connect characters in your waiting room, return them to your hand. This card's really good.
It's so much filter. It's so sick.
There's a card in the new Cinderella Girls that does this, but it can only do it if it's a dual laner. So I was like, okay, wait, no condition, soul trigger on choice, 7k. But you have like the two conditions on it, and it's like it's probably fine. My only regret about this card is that I thought she was wearing a big hat, and she's not. It's just a curtain behind her or whatever. We love the big hat around here.
You're not wrong. I thought that too. Holy smokes!
I thought it was a giant witch hat because she looks like the one girl from the Three Killing Slimes for 300 Years show.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It does. I agree.
Like the same color hat too. That was like, no, that's not a hat. That's not a hat.
That's so funny.
Very unfortunate. This card is very good. I don't know what the clocking options are, and obviously we haven't looked at green or red, but it would be tough to like not try to run this card, I think.
That's good to hear. Because this is literally the most last minute profile of this entire pile. There was a point I was doing something wildly experimental, and I had this like this combo just be a backup, and the idea being that like you would play the climax just for like chances to trigger whatnot, but ultimately it was A, too experimental for its own good, and B, the even with the payoff being like, oh, if you trigger this while you have your climax in play, you get like bag door trigger. So you get like for triggering it, you get like an extra stock and an extra character. It's like it wasn't actually worth the hassle, and putting it like this desired deck also just is too much of a mess. So now we're a normal 1k1 swinger profile doing normal combo things and not really competing with anything else in the set. I think I did a decent job with making sure that all of these combos feel distinct from each other in the decks that they're going to be played into. And even if you just want to run like good stuff pile, you actually probably have a couple of ways of doing that. But yeah,
my only gripe with this one is like the other level 1 combos just don't feel as like powerful given like how much filter this one offers. Like you don't really get the deck speed or anything like that, but it's just like the card selectivity is just so good.
It's so good. And you do 3 lanes of it. The other one you only had the one in Cinderella Girls you can only dual lane. And it has another card that dual lanes, like fixes the deck speed issue because it's a dual combo. But you only get 2 attacks. The other thing, I like that the choice trigger kind of looks like her scissors. It's
right?
kind of funny.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's just about like perfect.
Woo! All right, good. That means we're doing the Shiju assist. We'd like to see that. All right. So our final card for her, because everyone's getting 4 cards. This is Amanogawa Shiina and her sad bee. Look at that little guy. Such a character. Alright, this is a 2/1 6500. This with 2 abilities that activate up to 1 time per turn. During your turn, when you use an act, this card gets 3k power in the following ability until end of turn. Forgot to add that. That's fine. I need to add that on the other line too. Hilarious. Auto, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 1 or higher, put that card into your hand. Not get hurt. So on your turn, you play an act. She is a 9/5 with a non-reverse effect. And then during your opponent's turn, when you use an act, this card gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 2 or lower, you may stock bomb it.
Made a little face.
Yeah, I saw you do that, and I was like, "Is that intentional?" And you took it back, and then you put it back on, and I was like, "I think he had the same thought process as me."
It was an impromptu. I was like, "Wait, that looks like a face. I'm gonna keep it."
Yeah. I'm not exactly gonna give it nearly as high of a grade as you, though. I don't think.
No, it's not quite that good. It's like the bottom decking can be like relevant, but the power line that you sit is like it's just not gonna be as good. It's tough. I'm not gonna keep it that high, but it's just like I was starting to evaluate it again because like I didn't find space to play it. It was like one of those like you could play it. It has some like there is a build where you do play this, and I think it's in the next like 4 cards you'll see where like this is kind of why I'm evaluating it a little bit higher than like in the C range. So I'm gonna kind of like float around the B minus right now. It's still it has its routes. By itself, it's not a great card.
I mean, I like it a little bit better than what I first thought this card was, which was the second ability is an Adachi, but it's not. It's better than that because your opponent's not going to run an early play into an Adachi. It's just like it's not gonna really work. But the power lines are like weird. It's 9/5. Where did you get this this first line of text from?
I engineered it myself using maths, and it was a mess.
Okay, because there's a card in Azure Lane that does this.
It's probably partially taken from there, and then
I'm
we try to backfill the other.
Okay, I think it's experience or something. Like that effect's fine. I was more just like, why is it only swing at 9/5 if we want this? Oh, the card's battle opponent has to be level 2 or higher for this other one, but that's okay. You put some like restrictions on it and stuff.
I would
9/5
say,
I
like,
just don't
from my
feel.
experience, the power range is probably like the limiting factor on like how you can get the payoff from this because like you're typically going to want to be using like backups, getting into the range, bottom decking their dude, and then like swinging for like potentially higher damage because you know that the bottom couple of cards of the deck are going to do things that you've reversed. Oh, sorry, it's bottom stock.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a stock bomb. Not even a stock bomb. It's like a stock kick.
No, it's a proper stock.
Oh
bomb, yeah.
no, it's just okay. No, okay.
I don't know why I was remembering it as a stock bomb. Or sorry, bottom deck bomb. I think I would like it better if it was a bottom deck bomb.
That
I
would
think
be.
that'd be my approach. That'd be my fix for it because that's what my brain was like whenever I was like looking at the routes for this card.
I mean, even then, you got to use a deck slot on this. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, this card is cute. It's like, oh, it's cool if it'll work, but like, it's kind of gimmicky to a point where I don't think it would probably be worth the deck slot, depending on the rest of the set, of course. But
Perfectly fine spot for common rarity card to me, honestly.
yeah, the art's good.
What happened to my face?
The B is chonkers.
I know. Yeah, her oh god, cousin.
Oh my god.
I'm falling apart. Fix me.
And also,
So somebody help my mans.
but yeah, yeah, her little. At some point, she just picked up this sad bee. This was a fairly recent thing. This little stuffed animal, and she loves it. It's like her favorite little guy. So it shows up a lot in like Twitter posts and whatnot. Here's the thing: I don't know the last time I watched a Phase Connect stream. Hololive, I barely watch streams. Phase Connect, I think I've watched like maybe half a dozen or a dozen total since like first seeing them in like 2 or 3 years ago. But I mean, they just got some really funny girls and some really cute girls, so it doesn't matter to me. I still want them to be good wise cards. Yeah. Okay.
So it's like that one dude in the Discord that says he's a Nikkei fan and then doesn't do anything with it. Fake fan. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He will never see this because he gives zero shits about customs, and that is the refuge I will find safety in.
It's okay. I'm the one roasting him. I'm on board with it. He knows who I am. Same in the Discord. Same name.
Right.
You have no protections. You're gonna need some scissors on your side. I think you should have actually. You should have.
Damn, bro.
stuck with your
Damn.
OG,
You're right.
bro.
You're right.
Dude, I had your
Damn, you're
back.
right.
We got it.
Well, I mean, look. I know. Look, she is currently my number one, and of course that's because she's the only girl we reviewed so far.
It's all good. We'll start off with the next one.
Komachi Panko. So she is a 1K level 0 in yellow. On reverse is a level 0 stock bomb, which is just like the Shiro in Fate, which I'm familiar with, and at a 1000 power line, it's fairly reasonable. Usually it's more effective if you have 500 power line there for those stock bombs. But it's also an experience reset. Top 3, when it goes to the waiting room, you look for the top 3 of your deck. If there's a character with experience, you can add it to your hand, show it to your opponent, then discard a card from your hand. Pretty good within the sets. Experience is still, like, even in the right builds, is a limited card pool overall. But having the option to dig 3 deep, it kind of helps with the deck speed within the set. So I think in general it's fairly useful. But the question is, are there enough targets within deck builds for this card?
This card slaps. This card slaps. Oh my god. So I've played, I don't know if there's only 2, but the 2 I've played with are in Azure Lane 2 and Oshinoko.
Hmm.
And in Oshinoko, the only deck speed they had in like all of set 1 was this card as like a vanilla profile. They didn't even have the stock bomb part, and it still felt really good. And then the one in Azure Lane's like a 3K, which I really enjoy. But this is like also really nice. I really like that this can pick up the level 1 we just looked at, because while it's not numbered experience, like color experience is still just experience.
Mm-hmm.
And having useful profiles just attached to bombs means that you can deny, well, effects like this, or Aqua Rickies, or whatever else, to be honest. It's like Kaze said, it's a little less effective doing that because it's at 1,000 and not 500. But I mean, if you slap these 2 abilities on a card in actual Weiss, I would probably be doing my classic put it at 4 and then like work my way down to figure out how many copies I would want to play.
That's how I always approach deck building. It's like every single deck that I start with, it's like 4 of everything, and then like, do I feel like I need something, like, do I need to level myself up? Do I need more like clock kicking? Do I need like more Rickies? Do I need, and then like how many Rickies is enough? And then it's like every set will have one of those cards. Like in Lika Rico, like the 4K on turn JC with the Takina, it's like, okay, cool. That's like, you just auto include 4 of this just because like that profile is just so strong within that set. I can see that in the same perspective. But yeah, the power line at 1K, I almost feel like it's better for like the health of this, but it's like, we can go either way.
If I remember correctly, the Oshino card reference actually was where I got the idea to put this effect, and I think putting it with a stock bomb was thinking about the Bofuri card, and then just seeing that this was like a little bit less of a lower quality plus, so it got to be a little lower. Also, I would have made it 500 and given it another keyword if it weren't for the fact that Alias doesn't have another keyword. The only keyword they care about is experience, which is experience for the collective of green, yellow, red. Kind of like how the one gen in Hololive has red, blue, yellow, except we have 2 gens that are doing that in this set in 2 different ways, neither of them being the Hololive color combination.
I like this Tanuki motif that she's got.
Oh my god, Red Panda.
Yep, she is.
Look at her ears. Her ears are really cute.
Yeah.
And I like the little stuff thing she's got on her bag or whatever.
Yeah, little dude. She is an Italian red panda. When I say Italian, she is.
It makes sense to me.
So like, she is Italian IRL, and then she's red panda stallion. But yeah, no, she is very Italian. It's very cute.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is this what I'm seeing on this next card? The Italian coming through.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The outfit they gave her, because it's an official outfit she has. One note before I spoil you all with the image of that. She is, as we are recording this, on a bit of a hiatus. Face Connect is called the Sad Girl Company, and while that was mostly because of like the shit that they would say on stream, recently it has been because several of the girls have been on like very long breaks or have like started breaks. When we get to Blue, we'll talk about someone who's actually currently on like recently started an indefinite hiatus. We don't know when she's coming back. She's still around. And they also had one graduation not that long ago, which is why things are slightly more manageable as far as card counts go, because honestly, it would have been like, there would have just been an extra 4 cards instead of a promo, and Blank would have had a little bit more reason to be weird, like freaked out about it, because like 126 is such a weird fucking number, and it would have been 127 because I wouldn't have it a promo. But yeah, so she's if you want to go watch her stream at the moment, I'm not sure if she's back yet, but very cute. And sometimes she'll have this outfit. So, like,
The Pank father, Komachi Panko. I thought about doing an accent. I'm gonna skip it. I'm too tired for this.
hey.
During your turn, all your other phase kind of characters in front of this get 1,000, and when this card is placed on the stage from hand, you can choose one cost 0 or lower character in your waiting room and put it on any position of your stage.
Cost 0 spawners.
Okay.
If this costed 1 stock, I would be flipping my shit. I have found that if you have a spawner for 1 stock, you just play that in the set. Like it's so much value. It's so insane. This card is cracked. It hits your level 1 combo up to an 8k power range if you need reverses. And then if you back it with the brainstorm and trigger another copy of the brainstorm or a climax, you're able to push your level 1 combo up to 9 to 10k, depending on how many times you trigger. And if you have the multi trigger with the other level 0 that lets you like trigger multiple times, like the hand to stock, like you're vibing on power range if you need to like put some chance to it.
I think it's okay. It's weird that this is an assist, I guess, when normally like these spawner things usually just attack and are done with.
Yep.
Also, does the cost 0 version of this versus the level 0 version of this make a difference? Is there a difference in power line?
So this is taking the effect from the Chainsaw Man card, which is the 1K, because it specifically is discard a traded character.
Oh,
The
interesting.
Rene doesn't. The card I got this off of is Chainsaw Man, that one inconsequential devil.
The inconsequential devil. Yes, the fear of inconsequentialness.
Well, I think she's like I think she's technically a fiend who made a contract with the Snake Devil. I think that's what it was. And it took me a minute to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know who you're talking about now. I remember that card now.
yeah, 0-1.
So I was debating like between C and C plus on this. What makes me think like plus is just like in order to like consistently loop your level 1 combo, you kind of want to have multiple copies of this, but you don't really. It doesn't have a soul icon, so like you go into like 1 copy is sufficient, and like it doesn't facilitate that much more by having additional copies. So like it's not like that insane, but it's like it does offer a lot. But if it was like I said, if it was a pay 1 stock on play, spawn a dude, that would be absurd.
Do they even make those outside of Ramorous?
Yeah, the only ones that I know about are Ramrus's, and I definitely did not see a place to put Ramrus in this one. Just because, like, this set is very light on memory stuff. Like, I did something that I, as a human, very rarely do, which is not obsess about memory things in a waste set.
I love memory. Also,
Love red.
is there a reason you just made this like the assist version instead of like the global one?
That's a good question. I think I didn't like the idea of it sitting 3k like Rene.
I was just using a blue archive card because I know that it gives like offensive 1k as a 1/0 and is just a spammable brainstorm also. So that's what this card reminded me of. She's part of the Arius squad. And then if this was meant to be a back row card and this doesn't have a soul trigger as a 1/0, what are you doing, man? This is customs. Every yellow card has to have a soul trigger on it. We're playing choice, right? I think the card's like probably just okay, but the art is top tier.
Yeah, they just gave her the mafia outfit.
You come to me on the day of my debut.
I should probably go watch that outfit reveal stream just to double check if she made a joke like that.
That would be amazing.
She would. I am kind of considering the soul trigger thing. There is payoff for having soul triggers in yellow, and there's kind of other reasons that you might want to like focus on having a lot of yellow cards in general. So it's a little bit iffy on actually like doing that for the sake of like how consistent do I want that particular finisher option to be?
would be
But,
concerned for sure.
yeah, that card's already like killer enough. I don't particularly think it needs the buff of having the spawner that gets your combo also. But I mean, if in another set, I think having this as a 3K with a soul trigger would definitely make some sense. Or even like a 2K and it also be global instead of assist. I can see someone pushing that far, but probably put it at a double rare, and her double rare isn't until set 2. So at some point
Understandable.
we'll come back and we'll talk about set 2 cards.
I think overall this card's good, like within reason.
Good. I like that we haven't had any "oh God, please kill it with fire" moments yet.
So far,
Let's see how it goes. This
I think the
definitely.
level 1 is the most like custom card so far.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll give me one slide. Until then.
Okay, understood.
This is a very normal card. This is Lazy Day with Komachi Panko. She is a act, pay 1, pitch a climax, salvage a character in your waiting room, and also rest her to give one of your characters 3K until end of turn.
This is kind of one of the multiple enablers that you have for that 2-1 that I thought bottom decked whenever I was theory crafting deck building on that particular card. And then this just makes this card feel that much less like impactful.
I'm gonna say it. I think this card sucks. I don't think the utility is bad per se. On a 2-1 is like a little yikes.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm gonna have to say it. I don't think this profile is gonna make it in the most decks outside of like just that other 2-1. Like if you revisited that 2-1, I think this card could see utility. But like that would be like specifically a build around, but the other one's like not even a build around.
It also hurts because like there's only one bar in this whole set, and there's no pants to use the act ability like super well. Like they put this act ability on Brainstorms, man. Yeah, that's on like the Quince set 1 Brainstorm before they got any of the super cracked shit. It's on Yotsuba.
Okay, the only card that I remember having this was the one in Hololive that we talked about in very recently. So like, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I almost feel like this card, you could just say that the 3K is cross turn. Then like this card could be a little bit more within reason.
Oh yeah, hold on. They make those. I was thinking about that. There's a Heaven Burned Red 2 card. It has like the downside where it can't stand the following turn, but then it has like a resonate to where it can stand anyway, and it's like, okay, what?
Oh, that's fun.
And they also print those 2-1s that are like at the beginning of whatever phase, give 4K cross turn, no rest required.
Oh, that's true.
There's one in Ayakashi Triangle that saw like some play to try to make your Suzus really big, or at least one of your Suzus way bigger than the others. And I think it had like a pants thing, like support effect on it as well, because that deck was 8 pants.
Alternatively, you could take like the Bang Dream approach, or the Lika Rico approach, where it's like when you play a climax, you get like 2 or 4K power to a character that lasts cross turn, and then you might go with like rest, ditch a climax, salvage a character as like an alternative. I don't know what that would make the power lines need to be, but that could be a method to get a similar function from the card, but bring it up to like modern mice functionality.
That is fair. This card was, so they printed. I'm checking my set thing because I was going to make the notes of maybe some like market for consider changing it. This profile literally exists in quintuplets, as in really it's a promo for set 101, except that one is colorless for some reason.
Does it see play?
I mean, no.
I mean, the reason is, does it have all 5 girls on it?
That's a good question.
If it does, that's why it's colorless. They want you to be able to play it in any of the waifu decks.
All things said, I would not put an uncommon slot on this. This is a common card.
Dude, this is a pack filler card. Oh my god.
Yes, there is a point. There was a point I got into this, and it's like I need cardboard to be able to say that everyone got 4 cards.
I need cardboard to fill in the 140 card set.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Like,
so I can put this filler uncommon in an uncommon slot.
Because the alternative is like, all right, so then someone gets like 3 cards in the set. set instead of 4. It's like, oh god, the riots of no one else but me in my head designing the set.
Okay,
This
so
she's cute as all hell. Why give her this shit?
this is real. The other thing to note is the first girl technically has 5 cards if we go by Hololive logic, because Hololive was these girls get 2 cards apiece, but your climax counts as one of them if it's a combo.
Yeah, I have it split up so that everyone gets 9 cards across the 2 sets. Like everyone is getting a climax combo across 2 sets instead of trying to break people out into trial decks. But like I do fully understand that. So okay, yeah, we will mark this one down as it needs improvement.
Vast improvement, preferably.
Next card doesn't. Don't worry.
Oh,
This
okay.
means- all right, so this is a 3-2. We have the. Is this the Timmies?
the tiniest panda.
I see it. Okay.
It's tiny text because a lot of these names
It's the Timmies panda. But
Bro, Timmy, the lion from DK.
Panko. Alright, so this is an assist. It is a 2k power assist to the characters in front, but also has an act ability. It's a pay to discard 2. Notably, doesn't need to be traded. Put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. If it is a yellow character or a phase connect character, this character gets the following effect until the end of the turn. Continuous, can attack from the backstage as long as it is standing, and that is a direct attack.
So if that card is yellow or a phase connect character, so it hits on yellow climaxes and yellow events, this mattered a little bit more before, back when their gens event, because every one of the generations in this set has an event. That's the only thing I could think of to do for events. That used to be yellow. It is no longer yellow. So now, if you wanted to run that, it'd be a whiff condition. So you're playing like choice, stock, soul, yellow cards go burr if you want to just guarantee that you have this direct attack. But you can literally guarantee that you have this as a direct attack, which is finally something I get to test now that the sim has fixed the issue it was having with back row attackers for like an entire version and a half.
I have the context of the finisher to go off of with this card, but I still don't know how I want to go about this one. This one has always given me like difficult pause when evaluating. Like, you were talking about the whiff condition. Like when I read this, I almost wish that it was a mill top card of your deck. If it is that result, then you may pay the cost to get the effect. But I understand why you would do otherwise.
Yeah, because Pixar set the model for that, and they had it as pay the cost to get the chance rather than pay the cost after you took the chance.
Right, because you're not paying what 4 stock 3 hand is like the alternative.
Yeah, something like that.
I was about to say, this is almost, I mean, this is technically, considering playing the card, it is 4 stock, 2 hand, and clocking yourself.
Clocking yourself?
Am I reading this wrong? Oh, no, it's waiting room. Never mind.
I was fixing to say, can you imagine?
Poor Don to Don. They have a climax combo that does this, and it's pay 1, discard 2, and it's like their finisher combo.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So like doing this just because like, oh well, there's a chance to whiff or whatever. It's like, man, that poor set doesn't get anything.
This is also Panko's level 3 effect on this card.
I don't remember if the other thing had a level 3 effect. I know it was only 9,500, which I thought was interesting. But it was like a front row card where you could choose a back row card to become your direct attacker or whatever. I got a brew with it because I didn't realize that that's what that card did. Although I'd be brewing with my friend stuff, I'd never watched Don to Don.
Understandable.
I'm 5 episodes in. It's pretty cool.
That's not a real rating. I don't know where to put this. How good's the stock charging in this set, Kaze?
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
How cheap are the finishers?
Depends on the finisher. There's some that are more efficient than others. I don't think you generally would splash this just as an additional like augmented route to finishing. I think you want, with the majority of the set, it feels like you want to just play like a strong mid game and then like bank that your top end is gonna be like able to carry you majority of the way. Like I could see, like, since I couldn't play this in the sim, I wasn't able to like utilize it, so I couldn't tell you directly like if the 4 stock from this route was like gonna work. Some parts of me almost feel like if you didn't have this attached to an act and you could use it during attack step, like that could kind of help. I don't know. Like this one's a lot harder to evaluate, but I think we'll see one of the other finishers and like why this card could have more value later. We might wait. I don't know if you guys, if JB wants to like backtrack on this one after we evaluate that, but I like this card, but the resource economy is not going to be high enough for this to be a consistent option for the top end. Is really where I'm going to be at with it.
You could just like play this in standby.
Yep. In theory.
That's man, it is just like a 2K a frontal that oh yeah, if I need some extra damage push because I'm a standby deck. Oh wait, yo, because this actually attacks, you get a 4th attack in your standby deck to hit a standby trigger. Oh my god. Hold on, I'm seeing the lines here.
Yep.
The lines.
And also because it is, if that card is yellow or a phase connect character, as long as you're hitting phase connect characters on that top check, which you have ways to set that top check as well.
Yeah, you have a couple of options. There's at least one more that you'll see in yellow that has top check knowledge.
Yeah. So if you want
I
to do
think
that,
I at least like it in standby then.
yeah, if you want to do it on standby, you can. If you want to do this in the yellow top end for this, at least, yeah, the set one yellow top end is a stock healer that pays 1 for its combo. So it isn't
okay. So
it isn't that hard to get the resources from what I've been doing with it. I wasn't able to do the testing on having this actually swing for a while, but I was basically like playing as if I was able to do that, and it didn't feel that hard. Maybe you're not doing that finisher, but you're also perfectly fine not tripling that finisher necessarily, especially because that probably isn't the way that you'd be playing that card come later editions anyway, but that's for another time.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
For now though, it feels pretty good. I just love back row attackers. Playing Maigo with the Taki and getting her working, it's like, yeah, I love this effect.
Exotic Burr.
Is there a finisher with an elbow drop in this set?
No, not a finisher. I don't remember if I have a elbow drop in this set entirely, actually.
Man, elbow drop's cool, huh?
Remind me I haven't heard that profile. What's an elbow drop?
So elbow drop comes specifically from a Megumin card that she's holding her hat when she's falling through the air, so it looks like she's doing an elbow drop, like wrestling move. But it's basically you play it and you are allowed to play another character, and that character generally gains some sort of bonus effect. It's usually 2,000 power. The one I've seen most recently at my locals, at least, is the Mandalorian combo, which doesn't give 2,000 power, but gets on reverse, pay 2, pitch to heal on reverse.
Yeah,
and I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, give that to this the direct attacker that doesn't reverse anything.
So you would you play down a Mando that summons another Mando that summons another Mando that summons Jabba the Hutt in the back row, and the Jabba at Encore step would then sack as many characters as you want. You burn for that number to your opponent.
Overwatch. Let's go. Or not Overwatch. That was the name of the deck that I played in BCS 2015. The Yuri from Angel Beats. Pay 4 stock, and when she attacks, you dunk as many characters from your stage, and you burn for the total.
Yeah, it's 8 choice, or that deck he's running is 8 choice, and you're playing an elbow drop, so you paid 2 stock to get all of that. So you're guaranteed at least 1 Jabba, basically.
God, elbow drops chain. Right.
Elbow drop does chain because it comes from hand.
Oh god.
And then there's also there's one in Hasu where it has a changer, so you change and it summons it, and the elbow drop procs from the summon, so then you summon out a copy of the finisher it's supposed to go with, because that one's a back row support card.
Okay.
Elbow drop's a very cool effect, and it has a lot of ways to get really crazy. So you got to be careful when using it. But that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
You drop this in the back row.
There's I'm thinking about it. Maybe not in this set. I think by the time the set 2 cards hit, it'd be like we can't allow that. I did check. I don't have
Understood.
I don't have one here. I don't think I have one put into set 2, and if I do, maybe I reconsider it, because oh god, some of the shit that you might be able to do with that.
Who need what is resources? I just played everything for 2 stock. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, and I mean, oh god, and like put that together with some of the like we have a couple of finishers that are stock oriented more than not. Like, oh god. Yeah, for safety, we don't have that option. That is something cool to consider for future uses of back row attackers, though.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. Shall we move on to the next guest on the Price is Right? I believe we are.
Ooh, Eimi?
Eimi Isami.
Amy. Okay, that makes more sense. Isami. Yeah, I'm very tired. Level 0. When this card is placed on stage, output up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into waiting room. Oh, I know what this is. Put 1 level 1 or higher card from your hand to waiting room, and you get the zombie effect. As in, you can basically play a character from waiting room as if you had it in your hand, as long as you meet like the cost. These cards are really cool. I've never seen them like used a ton, but they're cool. So
Within the like context, since you're needing to fill the experience requirement for the level 1 combo in yellow, this can help like with some like if you have some off color things that are utility that you want to play, this does open up some of the deck construction options. If you're like only have yellow and you wanted to play the yellow cards, you couldn't meet the thing and you don't have your experience requirement, if that makes sense, and you wanted to play some of the other like your red onto stage, you could use this to get that into play, which is kind of cool, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that wrong?
Pretty sure that's right.
you can bypass color with this. Yes, I think it's a little less good because the level 1 combo needs an off color in level to work. But if you're playing all 3, for example, say you leveled red or whatever, clock yellow, really want to play a green card for some reason, you could definitely like do this. The set I first saw it in Zombieland because it's manager and he's literally like raising the dead. That's why I called this the zombie effect. And they specifically denied that set so many salvage options because they wanted you to play the manager. And it just didn't. Nobody ever played it. So when they printed that promo where you discard the event to salvage at like the beginning of main phase or whatever,
that's
people
why.
played that. People played that card instead because they didn't want to play the zombie raise guy.
Oh, that's funny.
And like the effect's not bad, but it is restricted to the point where you have to ditch a level 1 or higher card. So you can't ditch climaxes. And you could ditch it to like summon it, which I think is really funny because, that's how you can bypass color and stuff. But
I had never thought about that in the context of the level 1 because that is admittedly a fairly recent condition. I was thinking of this card in all of its applications in standby because that's her generation. Alias has a standby, but Euphoria is the generation whose finisher is running a standby, and they're kind of, at least as of what they have right now, they're very oriented around sacrifice as a thing for a gimmick. Amy's thing is that she is an immortal hamster. She was a lab experiment that was given immortality, and in the process also given a semblance of humanoid intelligence, which extends very well because she is also the freakiest little creature on the planet.
whoa.
She's very unhinged. She also, her debut song was an original and like this really fun little rock song called Dissonance, which I'm probably going to end up linking in the description. I like it that much. She's a great time. She's a goofy little creature.
I think you sent that song to me.
I feel like, yeah, that tracks.
Pretty sure. Also, this card does help deck speed. Just the modular up to 2 from the top is pretty sick.
Yeah, rather than Mando 3. I believe the Azure Lane 2 card has that mill up to 2 on it.
I know it has something similar, yeah. I bumped my grade up a little bit because outside of this profile hasn't proven itself in the few times it's been played. But I think if you're like 0-6 and you want to hit your experience condition and then you like summon your level 1 combo off this, that's like, okay, I can work with this, I can pick up what you're putting down. Maybe it's worth some number of copies, but we still have a lot of set to go, of course. So we'll see if it makes it into the final deck list or whatever.
My experience was like how consistently was I able to loop the level 1 combo, at least within choice. It was like you kind of need additional targets that are not the level 1. Like if you have one that's stuck in buried in stock, and then you have like 2 in level 1, like one that's just in the deck, and then you kind of want to have other routes to get to the level 1 combo. Having level 1s was not often the issue with this card, given the selectivity that you have with level 1 combo, but it is like not a absurd card. It just like within the card pool that you have in the deck in the set, then like this card has some utility. I like to try to test all the little niche things as best I can. This had its applications. On average, it was not the best. I would agree with that, but it has moments where it shined.
I realize that level 1 combo, like, if you just do I'm going to field 2 of it, I'm going to field 2 of it, I'm going to field 2 of it, the first copy just loops into the next turn's 2 copies.
Yeah.
God, that card is good. God, that card is good.
So good. Like, that's what I was saying. It's like, outside of the time when you don't have all 3 or just looping 2 or whatever, it's like, you kind of want something else to help you re-facilitate it. But again, like, there's not a lot of ways to find climaxes and like loop them in that sense. So
There's
like,
no pants. Ooh.
yeah. I mean, it's like even if you had pants, you wouldn't want to do pants with choice anyway. Well, I guess it also depends on what the pants combo would be.
Oh yeah, because it needs red and green. Oh lord. Well, you could play a good stuff pile because it's red or green. Okay. All right. I guess it would. Yeah. It depends on what the pants is.
I already have that card sketched out. It wouldn't be the worst fit. They both like having red or green in places, but
Wait a minute.
there's some routes. There's some goofy routes you could probably do with that. I'm not gonna lie. I hadn't even thought about that. It's in the slightest. But if you wanted to run 4 color, there might be ways to get it done without that much effort.
Or you just play IMA.
I'm running that shit in just about every experience deck anyway. So, and it's some that don't need experience. Yeah, you can definitely get it done. Speaking of cards that get things done, this one's a 2-parter. This is our other choice combo. This is another level 1 choice combo, because this set has no choice finishers. This is Insane Healing Factor, Eimi Isami. 1/0, 3500. If you have 2 or more other face connect characters, this card gets 2k. If you use an act once per turn, it gets 1500 power till end of turn. And at the beginning of your attack phase, if the choice is in your climax area, this card gets the following abilities till the end of your opponent's turn. This card cannot be reversed by your opponent's auto abilities. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events or backup, and when this card attacks, you may choose a phase connect character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. Now, this is not the only card that goes on this climax.
Okay. Let's look at the other one.
Yeah.
I'll look at both.
Are we? So we're gonna move down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kaze.
So I almost want you to like screenshot our discussion, because I had brought up this concept and then you took it in stride and you made this abomination. And I kind of dig it because I couldn't figure it out on my own. Here we are with the explosive entrance. Eimi Isami. Words are hard. It's a level 1 backup with 1500 power, and its backup is for 1000. So it's not a high. It doesn't match the power level, which is interesting, but also on spec given the effect. When you play the climax and this character is on stage, you can pay the cost of returning itself to your hand, and then you take one of the level 1 combos that we had just mentioned and place it on stage and give it an extra 1000 power until the end of turn. So you are enabling your act power gain cross turn just by using this. It's a very cool combo. You're plussing in hand and then you're plussing in stock, assuming all of the stars align, which shouldn't be too terribly hard.
What?
Behold the
What?
custom card.
Why does it get so many abilities?
Well, because I didn't want to. I wanted to have a decent base swinging power, but I also wanted it to have a. Oh, right, the triple. Because I think most of it was flavor justification. Honestly, the not against auto was because like she's just gonna regenerate that shit. You're not gonna get her that. During this card's value, your opponent can't play events or backup because she's just gonna power through it. You can't do anything about it. And then that then meant I still wanted to be like a somewhat plus in combo, and I was trading using the budget that normally gets used on like the Oburu or whatever for part of this. So it's like, all right, well, the plussing effect that we've got is like clean stocking, which also is perfectly fine because in the ideal situation, you're plussing off a hand with the backup being able to loop itself, and then being able to trade that hand plus for a field plus next turn when this gets to be at 8k defense.
Okay. I think that this card is cool, but I think you need to take off the backups or events thing. Because that's the only counterplay to it. It is the problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree. I
get,
agree with
you
the
get to
the
raw
backups and events.
reverse it is the thing. That like you still just get to.
You get to raw reverse them if you hit over 8k. Are you fucking with me right now?
How consistent do you think it is to have 3 of this in waiting room and 3 of this in hand because you cycled all of them?
Have you played the
Depends,
game
but
of Life Swords?
Yeah, I was not able to do that all that often because like your mill options aren't. There's not. I don't remember there being a mill 3. I think that
you
like
have
the
a Fuka
mill.
Zero.
We have the.
You have the reset, and then you also have the zombie spawner. There are methods, but so the thing is like
Zombie
when
can
I
even
say
summon
when I
one of the
made that
backups.
statement, it's like, have you played against Spy and they just bring out like all 3 Fionas, and then you just like sit there and you're like, well, I lost this game, and then they
Yeah,
just loop Fionas for the rest of the game. Like,
and they're 8-5 defensively before backup.
yeah, they're like, and it's not often that they do it, but when they do, it's like it's so backbreaking. And then the fact that this like both generates you stock and hand when you utilize the backup is like so wild. It's kind of disgusting.
Or imagine like if it was one of those changers that they used to be like an Adachi changes into this 1/0, and because it changes from a costed character to an uncosted character, you get to stock a card. That's this, but neither of them cost stock, and the opponent can't play the backup thing, and they can't use their bomb, and they can't do anything. They
They
can't
can.
do anything.
So hold on. They can use any bomb that isn't a reverse bomb.
I mean, I guess, but there's how many of those exist in the meta right now?
There's like 3 or 4,
I
and
mean,
they're in sets that are like not relevant.
I was about to say, it's like the most meta, quote unquote, like level 1 bomb I can think of is Shauna. But Shauna doesn't work because it's a reverse bomb.
The Lico Rico one works. The 2500 bottom deck when it gets reversed, like that one could work. I think this card overall, like or this combo, I think just needs a little bit of bringing down because like as is, I think it's like way too high. I think we take out the backups in the events text line from the main plus and combo, the one on the
Yeah, it's
board.
events too, so they can't even play like a torch or something if they're out of
Right.
climaxes. That's just
It's a little pushed. And then
alright,
I think
do that.
I think also we take away the 1K power gain from the backup that it gives when it does the pseudo change effect. That way you're swinging slightly lower, and then let me add a little bit more caveat to that. Then you could take an extra like 500 for the backup and make it like 500 better on defense, which I think would also be fine. That way it's more risky on offense, but has a little bit more stability on defense. I think is the way I would personally approach it.
So swing 6-5 on offense with the trade-off of 85 on defense, provided it lives.
Yes.
6-5.
because
Okay.
oh yeah, that's also weird because if you do the summon, right, it hasn't seen an act ability,
So it's
so it's
smaller.
already like, yeah,
Yep.
this is interesting. I don't even inherently mind the extra 1,000 from like a card budgeting standpoint. It's just that this gets both resources for like so free that I think something has to be done, and Kaze is being more constructive than me right now. So like I don't know what you would do to fix this. I think it's cool. It reminds me of Zombieland, or there's a Shizuku from Love Live Nijigasaki where its climax combo is literally, I think it's grab the early play or grab the other thing that can change into the level 1 combo. So it just like loops that over and over again when that deck is played, which I think is cool. But it doesn't get stock. And this is like, oh, this is actually free 99. And like, oh my god, dude, imagine having 2 choices in hand. You do the combo, you summon the girl, you get the stock, you back up to where it lives again, and you slam another choice, you get to clean stock again? Oh my god, dude, we're talking like Muron levels of stock charge, and you really didn't even lose hand.
And there can be moments where you don't even use the backup and you just let the level 1 die, and then you just drop the level 0s again, or the backups, and then you just do the change mechanic again. I think you might have just mentioned that, but yeah,
It's like you can loop it either way. That's the silly part.
Yeah, that was at least intentional.
So one other approach that you might take too is you could make the backup a 1/1 with a soul trigger because you're already in choice, and neither of these do have soul triggers. And then you could play around with a little bit more of the routings, because if it's a 1/1, then you're not getting the plus from the hand is fine in that regard, right?
I think you could keep the power on it too, but it would make the change play a lot worse. Of course. But also it's so strong now that it might not be a bad thing. I don't know. This one needs another run through of testing, I think.
Interesting.
It's
I don't,
such a cool. I love this concept.
yeah, I don't hate the concept,
It's so
but it might be
sick.
too good.
I love how you approached it. There's elements of it that's too pushed, but then there's you don't want it to be underpowered because it's not doing a standard selective option like how the other choice combo is. It doesn't have it. It doesn't offer deck speed. It doesn't offer card selectivity. It just gives you the stock and hand to utilize with other cards. Which in the set you don't have something like the Amoris and Avamuchka where you get just free filter and free stock and stuff that just utilizes all the other resources that you have. So within the confines of this set, I think it's fine. But and if you have all other card profiles, this can be a dangerous card.
That's fair. Yeah, that was definitely part of it, was thinking that raw plus is a thing, but also by itself being a raw plus wasn't strong enough to warrant level of insanity. The thematic thing for her is to find a way to survive, which would be not getting reversed. But if we don't have if we take off that text and we leave the on attack, we now have a slot that is put something there that is equivalent to, I guess not Oboro because we don't have the another character, but that, the Bay or whatever that's can't be reversed or something like that.
You could do the Overlord. You could just put the text, this character can't be reversed when it attacks.
Oh shit. Is that actually
As as an option. That way backups become available. They could use a level 1 or level 2 memory kick, but to no effect. So you, even though you might not win in power, you could still just frontal anyway.
So what I first thought this card was I literally thought you went in and was okay, so she's immortal, right? Blank has just introduced me to Kami-sama. The level 1 combo in that is do one of the following. It's either gain Oboro or you stock a card. So that can do both things, but it can only do one of them at a time. And that would actually free up a slot for her to get a different card, unless you really, really wanted to make this the package deal. But I think that's kind of the way you would have to do it, because getting both on the same turn, I think, is insane.
Yeah, I was thinking
You
the
know what I mean?
model of the Oberos that also get Twin Drive. That was the kind of the root, and then it was mixing that with some other cards that I looked around. I think I remember seeing cards that did the stock thing, but I was an alternative to Twin Drive because I didn't want this to also be a Twin Drive. It didn't make really all that much sense for her to be a Twin Drive specifically. And then breaking down the card that's literally cannot be reversed is well, what can you break that into that's cheaper? Well, being reversed by opponent's autos means they can still get beaten down at combat, but it I guess if that power line is unreasonable to the point it seems to be, then that is like an issue.
You've also got to consider that if you're going to be having that, right? When you use an act, like, use the backup one time,
Oh, there
the
you go. Let's get power.
auto ability activates in all 3 lanes. And that's before you play the backup of, like, a higher power level. Because, like, this other one's only 1k, right? Say you are playing, like, a really defensive deck with this, because you could do the full, like, I'm going to keep stock charging, and I'm never going to take damage, and my shit is just really big on defense. That counter's only 1,000. If you have other counters in this set, this thing is even bigger, and it's 8k with this backup that's only 1,000. And it's like, well, okay, well, I got a 2k memory kick, so I'm 9k. Or, oh, I can anti-change my opponent, and that way I can actually do this combo again and still have a lane. It's like, goodness gracious, the power lines can get ridiculous.
Is getting a stock by itself a combo worthy effect? If it was just at beginning of attack phase, if CX is in CX area, blind like clean stock.
Yes.
I would agree. Yeah.
OG Love Live. My friend plays that deck, actually. I think it's on a bar. It just sits cross turn at 6k. It is on attack, stock a character from waiting room. I'm pretty sure that's all it does.
Okay.
It's that and it prays.
So I'm not thinking on attack. I feel like literally on climax play, get the stock. Doesn't have any other effects. The timing on it means that you get the stock clean guaranteed and that you're not burying like triggers in a way, which would otherwise probably be a significant concern. And literally the benefit of this card is that it is able to spawn off a backup that cycles itself back to the hand to keep itself on board, because later in the game you're going to need like the Gen's thing is like it has like numerous sack outlets, right? It has like yellow is the color for this generation that is good for being sacrificed, and then red is the ones that are doing like all the sacking for various things.
So when you say that, your reevaluation would be like majority of everything on this card is gone, and it's on climax play. If you have this on stage, you get your stock from waiting for the traded character. But then alternatively, if you had the backup on the stage, you can get the change, and then you just have the body on board. So that way it's either a plus hand or a plus stock, depending on which one of those you had on stage at the time of the climax placement.
With timing, you get both. The idea being that the only thing that's being changed is I'm getting rid of the the like following abilities part entirely. You're still getting the same resources. It's just that it can still be reversed by level 1, like reverse bombs. It can still be event or backed up against. But the trade-off is like the timing on it for the getting the stock is a bit more optimal than on attack.
Okay, so
That seems more reasonable. Sure. I get you.
okay, so we're making like level 1. It's just like Kanata, basically. Except instead of getting sacked, the combo returns to hand, so you don't lose hand that way. You'd have to word it like Kanata, which is at the beginning of attack phase
exactly.
stock, because on climax play doesn't work because the first one.
Yeah,
the first one is on climax play.
I'm pretty sure I tried to emphasize that when I was telling what the change was in my head, but if I didn't, then
I'm just trying to organize my thoughts because, like I said, I'm tired. I mean, you lose the insane healing factor, like flavor, but it gets what the card wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
from like an effect standpoint.
That's my primary issue with it, but also thinking about it, like the budgeting on this is already a little dubious. Getting all that because it doesn't have a character condition on it, whereas like the
base vanilla brat from Hololive.
It has the during their opponent's turn can't be reversed, or like in Opero they have character conditions, and I don't want to put a character condition on it. So the fact that these bonus effects don't quite make up for it, as far as like ironically by being less budget, but they are better at counterplay. It's like.
Honestly, I still think you could keep the can't be reversed by auto abilities if that makes you feel better for flavor.
That would. Yes, that would.
Because like that ability I've seen it's like, have you seen the brainstorms where it's like on play, give one of your characters that?
Yep.
That's terrible. I've literally never seen one played and have it actually be effective. So I'm perfectly okay with you getting to dodge red bombs only.
Okay.
Good job.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm generally fine with that too.
All right, cool. So we give you the ability to event or back up over it, but so I'm gonna put a minus on because we did have to change the card, but we leave it at that. Cool. I'm fine with that, and I think I am just leaving the backup the way it is. I like every with that thing of okay, your opponent can actually still like kill this ways. Just needs counterplay. I am fine leaving the backup the way it is.
I think the package as printed is like insane. Like actually, it's like practically Miron. You don't have the selectivity hand-wise, but you don't have to pay a stock up front for it. It's like
Fair.
level 1 Miron. It's freaking nuts.
He is for push.
That's
He is
fair.
for push. I almost gave it the S actually. I think if because it doesn't work like with its own trigger super well, and you don't get like the selectivity that the other choice combo does.
Hmm.
But resource wise, you are just rolling, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I love this combo. It's just like it has a bit much going for it.
E for pushed. I like that.
Right on. All right.
All right, fried fish dinner. Eimi Isami. This card is on marker. Gets 5k. This card is placed on stage from hand. You marker a face connect character from waiting room. During a turn of this. Wait a minute. Oh, this. Okay. I see what's going on here.
Mhm.
So if it's sacked, you can discard the marker and return it to stage position as rest.
Free economy.
Taken from the Pecoras with the same effect.
I kind of like that it's a. You can put this in the front row. Because like the Pekko always wanted to be like, no, I'm only used for sacking. You need to leave me somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I didn't want to
Um,
do that.
an interesting thing I've found with this kind of effect, and this is actually better because this one's a level 1 and Pekka's is 0. If you crash during your turn, it just comes back and you block the direct attack lane, and potentially, yeah, you're small, but this being level 1 means that your opponent either still has to front, so you can play potential, anti-change or whatever, or they, instead of gaining a soul off a direct attack, they lose a soul from side attacking.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's like really niche, but I thought
Yeah,
that was
this
cool.
card is cool. Like it has utility. I like cards in general that just have free card economy. This, like you said, it can just crash, and then you're just like, okay, cool. I'll just get the non-open lane like that. That's just that in of itself is just worth.
I hadn't thought of
I
it
don't
that
know.
way before, but I do like that information. That I have it.
I don't know what stack abilities are in this set, so it's hard for me to grade.
Oh.
I think, but I'll go like this. I'll trust Kaze. As a card, like on its own, I don't think it's great outside of the cute little haha didn't leave a open lane, but it might be worth playing depending on just how good the sack abilities are.
So, at minimum, the archetype finisher uses sacrifice to mitigate a resource, and also there is a sack climax swap. There might have been
Yeah,
more
I
than
guess it
that.
depends on the finisher then, to be honest, because it's like a sack climax swap is like kind of whatever.
It is
A
If
sack
nothing else,
climax.
this is like a one-off. Like you will want to utilize this as a resource piece.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely comes in handy for like one of this in endgame to be 2 slots. It does feel nice.
I mean, with a climax down with the first choice combo with the soul trigger we looked at, like if you're trying to do the 2 combos each time, this is a third lane still swings at 75. Like I can vibe with that.
8-5 with the spawner.
H5 with the spawner. Let's go.
Oh right, yeah, because you can. I mean,
Oh, it doesn't get the marker though if you
yeah,
spawn this.
so
Again,
you
I,
can't
I wasn't saying spawn this with the spawner. I was like, you
yeah, you
spawn
have
the
it in the
level
back row,
one.
but you spawn like
Okay, yeah.
the Shiina combo. Okay, yeah, that would track. Like that. Yeah, a little bit of context. The fish in this is the CEO of the company, H2O Sakana. He is a fishman. We call him the fishman. And behind her, looking mortified, is Tenma, another person in the company, who also historically is way more combative towards their boss. So I love the fact that she was chosen as the person to be like, oh my god, what are you doing to him? Because it's goofy.
Dang, I want to
He's
give this
getting
a C for CEO right now.
B for burnt that in the wok.
B for bass. That's a bass, baby.
Go to Pro Sakana shop, get all your fishing material. All right.
B for barracuda.
Any more comments
for
on this? Or
baitfish.
are we good?
B for blue whale. No, whale's not a fish.
Oh my god. All right.
But I was just like, oh, sea creature.
Oh my god.
I don't think this one's quite a sea creature, but Hikanari Hina. It's a 3/2 with a soul trigger, 6/5 base power. Has the experience condition of if you have a red in your level and all your characters are phase connect, this card gets 4,500, putting it up to an 11k. And has the stock refund if you have 4 or more Phase Connect characters on stage. When you play this, you can stock a character from your trade a character from your waiting room to the bottom of your stock. Notably, that cleans out your stock. It's aight. It's oversized. Oversized refunds, decent. Typically, you want them to have like card filter.
Yeah, she is a 11k that you can spawn on standby and be 11k without any trade-offs. If you play her from hand, you get a stock refund. She a common. And yeah. Blank has caught on to a very significant element of her character.
Look, this card sucks, but, you know.
Yeah,
if you know, you know. Something suck joke.
She got hit with this weird spot where, like, she was on, while I was doing this set, she was on hiatus. She very recently came back, as in, like, this last week, she started streaming again. And in the time that I had spent around, I didn't have that good of a read on her character, other than, like, her lore being that she's, like, some kind of shrine maiden, priestess type person who got tricked by one of her gen mates and, I guess, falling to the dark side in a sense. I don't know. I didn't have that much in my head to work with as far as, like, flavor went. So she ended up with a lot of, like, either good stuff profiles for higher rating stuff or, like, just kind of cards that exist. So a couple of places where she probably needs a little bit of work to, like, tune up. I don't think this is horrendous if you would be playing a quote-unquote budget, but in a, like, constructed environment where you have access to all of the cardboard because you're playing on a sim, because where else are you going to play these cards? Yeah, it is a little underbaked. But
yeah, you have to have things in common slots sometimes, and I feel like within the confines of like a common card in a set, like this seems solid enough.
Yeah,
like
the fact that condition is basically going to always be online in the sort of intended build for her is like, it's pretty good.
I mean, playing for free as an 11k is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Also being like clean stock too is kind of neat. Like I like that element of it, that the stock goes to the bottom. You took all of the elements of what you would want on like a common card that's a 2/1 and just like make it within reason. Like you made it playable, but oversized level 2s are just they're not that impactful to the game.
Agreed.
I like the little mascot back there, and does she just have like a planet in her one hand?
That's a great question. I think it's an astrolabe kind of thing.
That's got to be one of the phases. That's got to be the one that she rules over, man.
Oh, it's right. It's
phase.
the phase world. Oh, you know what? If it's like a little that's a call. I honestly, that's a very good question. As far as what that is.
Okay.
On another note, I love Angel like Lord style characters, and this like she just kind of ticks a lot of the boxes.
I think me and Kaze are on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, she's a real sweetheart. She's also very insistent that she is Seiso, and the more she says that she is, I doubt it more and more.
I was about to say, I don't think I believe her. Just on outfit alone, bro.
But yeah,
Um,
she's fun.
dude, hearing the word phase so much has got me like. My Discord used to be called Moxie Phase. It's
Oh.
like what the, and I was just hearing phase a lot, and, like, getting flashbacks, man.
It's not a phase,
That's
Mom.
fun.
It's a connect.
Uh,
Gonna lose my mind, dude.
uh,
Kaze, you're so funny, bro. You're
You've
so
been-
funny.
You've reawakened the ancient traumas. Speaking of ancient traumas, this card actually is definitely a trauma for people, including me to an extent.
There's definitely a view there.
Oh my god, brother. I don't care what this card does. I'm putting it in my deck.
Oh, you're gonna be playing for it. There's a decent
Okay.
chance.
It's
Dude,
a
this is my
non-zero chance. This is a 4-up in almost every deck of this set plays, bro.
that's
Bro, I'm
fair.
gonna. This is my finisher. I'm gonna field this as my finisher because
Oh god, I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
play
pass out.
I'm gonna play this card every single turn just because I want to look at the art some more.
Respectable. Is this Kaze's read? I've lost track entirely.
I don't know. Somebody read the card.
I
I'm a
read the
narrator.
Blank's
I read the prior.
Yeah.
I read the prior.
It is your read, Blake. You get to read this card.
Oh my god! Thank God. Once card's placed on stage from your hand, you look at two, and okay, Mocha. Woo! We love Mocha. Wait a minute. Did you really put these to? Okay. Once card is put into waiting room from the stage by pick cost, you look at up two cards from top of your deck. And you plus for free because it's free. $3.99.
Okay.
Dude, bro, infinite value. This has infinite value. You know all that stock you were charging up with the other card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If this was a clean clock, you could literally just like turn all your stock and clock into like infinite hand resources. This being dirty like barely makes it where it's like they might actually print this eventually.
I'm glad you see it. Yeah, that was the concession I made. It was like I am willing to do this. I am not willing to make it literally like Aqua Ricky plus Mio play Mocha. That was the line that was too far. But 30 o'clock plus that seems workable, especially because she's in the SAC group. So like this is like it plays into that somewhat. Like it felt fine. When I made this card, my thought was, oh, but why would you want to like use that top effect doesn't do nearly as much for you if you like doing like what people used to do for like Aqua when it's like, you play it as like your turn 0 play and it's like, well, the thing about her that makes that so good is that she sits big. Why would you want to trade that for a Mocha, right? You'd like hang on to this until after. And then Steph was making very strong arguments for, no, you silly bitch, that is not how that works. And I would like to check with you all. Turn 1, you slam this down as a 500 power just for that top 2 check. Is that a valid turn 1, like a valid starting play?
This card's cracked, bro.
Okay.
It's at 500. There's like 3 sets that have a 500 zone bomb. It has to take something like fucking just like zone bomb it, and it's usually going to be a clock is where it's going to get sent to, and then you're going to be sent to level 1, and then this isn't going to be able to get sent there because there's no clock, and then you're like, all right, cool, go to the waiting room, and then you get your plus from the prop.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so do you know Freerin?
Yeah.
Right? So Freerin has a Fern card that is a level 0 bomb and has this Mocha effect. They printed that fucking card as a double rare, and people will play it just as their turn 1 so they don't trigger a pants turn 1,
Yeah,
basically. And it's like, well, okay, we're going to play this. We're going to have this first effect, this Mocha effect, which, weirdly enough, Zombieland Saga comes up again. That's the first place I ever saw it.
Oh yeah.
And it was just the mocha effect. That's the only
Right.
text it had.
Yeah.
And it still saw a little bit of play. Not much, but it was I tested it a few times. Now they're just printing it on. They printed on a level 1 bomb. It's still a double rare. The Zombieland card was a common, and like a red bomb doesn't mean a ton. So it's like one additional ability apparently makes it a double rare profile, and then you put fucking Aqua Ricky on it. If this shit was clean, this card would be banned, and it's still good. The SS is for swimsuit, by the way. But like, every single phase connect deck, I don't care if they have a condition that says you cannot have a yellow card on your field or in your waiting room or in your hand. I'm playing 4 of this in that deck anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Also, if you so you pair it with that other card, and like if you really don't value the mocha later in the game, you send it to stock with the Isami combo.
Yeah.
Like it's just free 99.
Okay.
So
That's
let's throw some additional context in here. So let's you get deck speed, right? You can mill too if you
Yes.
want. You get your top deck knowledge for the backstage that direct attacker. So that way you can make sure that when you use that act, you're gonna like hit clean. So like if you're in multicolor, this can help facilitate that. And then all of the other things that we've already mentioned. I just thought I'd drop that out there.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Oh,
insanely good card, but is it too good to print at current?
oh,
Every set's got one of these. I think it's fine.
I mean, I think it's like an instantaneous 4 of, but oh man, would they print it? They do this kind of thing, but this is like the next evolution. So they'll print like search rickies with on play like manipulation, right? The Uma Musume one has like top check 2 rearrange. The one in Hasu can send it to it's either bottom deck or waiting room, and then also gets 1,000 power at the same time, and it's still a search ricky. I think because it's dirty, it's actually printable.
Okay. Printable, but a 4
It's borderline though. It's borderline though. I think.
They printed a Morris, the level 0 that goes up to 35 and then has the sack top check add trait. They printed that card. My perspective on the power level cards now is just like they have to be pushed for me to say like it by itself should be like evaluated differently. But like the fact that these are 2 existing profiles, like you said, the dirty clock like actually makes that to where it's like you don't know for sure if you like wanted to. You saw the top 2 cards of your deck. You wanted both of them. You can't just like play over this, pay 1, and get both of them.
Yes, that's true.
That's the most important thing that makes this card within reason.
I was about to say you have all that stock charging from the other combo, and if this was clean, I think you could just do whatever finisher you wanted, how many ever times you wanted.
Yeah.
Because it's just free fucking resources, man. It's just free resources at that point. You're playing Yu-Gi-Oh at your finisher turn.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No. Yeah. You could do some actually fucking ridiculous shit for that.
Arguably, you still can. It's just now a little bit more risky.
Yeah.
Because you have all the sack stuff, so you get benefit from sacking the character. Pay 1, you just +2 hand on top of. Freaking insane, dude! Like,
all right, that's good. I'm glad that honestly, for a character to get a push card like that, she deserved it. She was gone forever, not her fault. She has had a time. That's good.
bro, you could print a garbage profile on this. I'm playing 4 of it.
All right. Well, it's taken an immediate downturn, I think.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Is this on me?
No, it's on me. But this is a Pekora from Premium Booster 1/1 Soul Trigger, 4K power, level assist, 500 traded, and rest to pay 2 rest to heal 1. Like fine, but like
honestly, with the stock charging in this set already, like I think it's arguably better than like what Hololive had. Also, depending on how standby goes, maybe, but we probably have better assists than this.
The only thing I like about this is the fact that it has a soul trigger. Otherwise, it's like I never felt like I needed to slot this into any builds.
Wait, okay, that Isami combo again. I'm gonna keep going back to it. If we're using printed text. Okay, so this is another 500 power on that, and then say you did your clean stock, but you had some bad triggers. You just pay them out with this card, get a benefit. You didn't really lose any stock because you got 6 on the fucking turn, or more if you trigger choice.
And
You're making me
agree.
Because like, yeah.
8-5 defensive.
Yeah.
8-5 defensive. Pretty sick.
When you play against the AI, it kind of like makes you not need this kind of method.
Yeah.
Because like they're not killing you all that much. So yeah.
Oh yeah, we were doing Danmachi testing, and it wasn't even killing Bell combo. It was insane. That's 4K, bro. Come on, just kill it.
Yeah, it's 4,500, and it just could not save its life.
It was doing it versus Kami-sama too. The 4K level of combo there, it couldn't kill it. I was like, what are we doing?
I'm glad.
Oh, also, it's a soul trigger, and that actually matters because the Isami 2 parts does not have soul trigger.
True. Yeah,
so in that deck, I really like it actually.
Yeah, and also it matters if you want to play into the finisher that cares about soul. Yeah, all right, cool. Last card for Hina.
Joy! This card's really important. Everyone remember this one for a while. So we've got Under the Moonlight, Hikanari Hina. There we go. I did it.
You did it.
I did it, Dad. Alright, so it has an auto ability, which is pay 1, ditch a yellow or red from hand. So color-specific costs. On attack, if you have 2 or more other trait characters, you can put the top card of your clock into your waiting room, which is a heal, which is decent. Notably, the other effect. Pay 2, ditch 1, sack a character from stage. During the turn, this card is placed on the stage from your hand. At the end of this card's attack, if you have 4 or more other characters on stage, pay the cost. If you do, restand this card. This makes all of the other sack outlets really important. Very good card.
So we made like off finisher Nino, basically.
Yep.
Like set 1 Nino.
Yep.
And you gave it the really good restand cost.
Yeah, the Azure Lane restand, which synergizes with the stuff that lets you, like, if you hypothetically have the resources, if you feel like the double pay is worth, and even if not, like, it's a restand. That's pretty good.
Restand
Maybe
still
I should have waited to put my rank on this one, but this card does some work with the sack outlet.
Okay, I really like. Oh man, is there a way to like give this card other abilities?
That is a fair question.
Because like this card on its own is kind of like whatever. Like healing at level 3 really isn't that exciting anymore. Kind of unfortunately, in my opinion. It's 3 stander. The Kronstadt was like put a Mocha on it, and the Mocha didn't say once per turn, so you got to Mocha on both of your attacks, and then you'd pay 3 because you were stock charging the whole game, so you had condition for both Kronstadts you did. And even then it was like, well, Azure Lane's on like some copium because all the deck had was like Taiho.
And cats.
So
well, yes, but
yeah. So the ability that would get, like, I'm double checking because I don't think we just have anything that's like an on attack effect plus kind of thing, but we have like that testament profile. So if you kept triggering climaxes, maybe that'd be a thing, but that doesn't matter for this set or the color she's in, so no. But the finisher in yellow gives an on attack effect, but it's not a repeatable one. But it would give you a second chance to trigger that because that is an effect that requires you to hit something on trigger check. So you'd have 2 chances to do that.
What is the effect?
It works with coin flips.
I guess we'll get. Is this finisher also in yellow?
Yes, it is the very last main set card in yellow because we have a promo at the very end. But I'm saving that card for last because it's probably the single most impactful card, and I want to leave it on a.
Okay, well, this card by itself, I'm going to give the same grade I think I gave Kronstadt in the PGH review. That's the only one I've ever been on. I love New Jersey.
I will say the heal with this one is fairly cool. Normally, you kind of want like main phase heals when you can, but during on attack healing, procs are actually really useful, especially in games where it's like you somehow survive and you're like 3-5, 3-6, and then you're like
Yeah.
about to hit refresh. Like I've had multiple games where like that has come up, and so sometimes having that kind of heal on your top end can be really useful.
Also, if you like healed the first attack, but you don't have one to heal the second attack, but you'd like to, just because like maybe you're overhand or you got a climax you want to pay out or whatever. If you sack the Ricky, you can clock yourself to then like heal it off and just like, oh, I got hand and a heal and this attack thing. Yeah, you can do some cool stuff with it.
That's the goal.
On attack heal is pretty sick.
Cool card.
True.
I dig it. I like the fact that the heals is both for like even after the turn played.
True. Alrighty. So this is Ember Amane. She is one of the 4 members of the Invaders, which are basically the like, hey, we found this streamer who's like in like the V shoujo model, right? Where it's like, hey, we found this indie streamer and we're just gonna kind of take them into the fold with our little tentacles. Sometimes give them like a real makeover. Sometimes just kind of let them come in with their own brand. We've seen both of the models. So her namesake card is a 500. Both of these are free run cards, by the way. So the first one is based off an Aizen that is on play, Foolish Burial yourself, any traded character, and bonds to this other card, which is why they're both on the same slide. I'm trying this out where I'm just going to put the cards that go together when they're both kind of like not otherwise doing their own thing, just on one slide, and we kind of
they're
put them
like
together.
linked together. Yeah.
And leave the individual ratings just because like there might be some discrepancies. And then the card it bonds to is a 3K level 1 center middle position runner. Literally exists in free run. I don't think it sees any competitive play, but it's like a thing that you can do.
The Ison sees play in the standby builds, which have not put up tournament results, but it at least does see some play within that build.
Okay.
It's at least this one's on trait. That Aizen is literally trait, and that's why I don't even know if I would bother playing it in the memory one.
That's true.
Or the standby one, because it doesn't have adventure trait because it's after he's retired.
Truth.
Which is good flavor, but also like no, he
No.
doesn't work with anything now.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very sad. If you wanted to say, look, Foolish Burial, really insane effect, especially for this. I don't know how the standby goes in this set, but standbys that get Foolish Burial are like a lot of value, right? You could also just make this Grisaya's version of Cats, which doesn't get a soul, but one of them is a 35 chaser and then has discard bond to the other one. And then the other one is during your turn, if you have the other one, the character crossing this cannot return a hand or get sent to memory. But then it's like kind of smaller on defense, and then also has the discard bond search for the other one. Because the one card, it's like not bad for filtering in a standby, but yeah, I don't know. It's not great. The bonder is like, I'm gonna give it this, but it could go up depending on how good the standby stuff is.
Yeah, it also sets up Eimi.
Oh, ooh, actually. And this one's on trait too? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it grabs any phase trait.
So
Like,
okay, so you
I
discard
have moments where it's like I love this card. I love being able to like turn any card from your hand into like what you I say any card, but any traded character or traded card to like what you like. If in games where you have like all one hires and you just started the game and you only have one and you went second, one level 0, like one playable, you want it to be something that's ons or bonds, right? And so like there's a non-zero count of games where you're gonna want something like this. These can be good. I feel like when I was looking at the like standby routes, I didn't feel like targeted search was like the thing that you needed. That was my experience, but like it could see play. being the fact that it's just any trait.
The other thing for a standby deck is if you have a standby in hand and you just if you just happen to be playing this chaser, you just discard a standby target and get a 0 to attack with. The other one is literally just like a 3k level 1, like fake condition center runner, which I think is like fine enough. I like them being 3,500 more than I care about it being level 1. But like 3k level 1 chaser as an uncommon is like really good. I think. Like I've seen people try to play the Stark on its own, I think. It's so in free run it's hard because you just do not have slots because you're playing all these fucking events and stuff. But outside of that build, it's like, if this is literally a copy of Stark, I wouldn't laugh at somebody for playing a freaking level 1 chaser or level 1 3k chaser.
Sometimes you can be really happy about like just solid oversize. Like there can be like 2.5 or 2.5s or 3k clean cuts and stuff that just like sit big at level 1 on 0. And like even then they aren't like the most impactful thing. You almost just want more like utility and stuff in majority of games. That's kind of why I'm sitting a little bit lower on these. But there can definitely be like games where like these will shine in certain builds that they can.
I think the bond card really depends on how good standby is, because just as is, I don't even know if I'd play it in the Isami deck as much as I think that level 1 stuff with the change is like kind of cracked. It really is just depends on like, is the standby stuff need this card, and if it doesn't, then that card won't see play. I think the center runner might though.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't think you're as worried about. Yeah, we'll get into it with red because honestly, the 8 standby is not a build that you immediately would play with itself. The standby, the combos on it are a bit odd. I feel like it works out maybe a little bit better than like how Hololives is like very like super early game slanted, and then with some other sets is like, kind of you don't have a finite like Hololive, and others it's like you're not really having a finishing plan. For that one, it's like you have a finishing plan and you have something that you can do. It's not really like a combo by itself. We'll get into it because it's very important for what Alias is wanting to do in green. But
so Foolish Burial has been really hit or miss. They don't put it in everything, probably for good reason, but the stuff they have put it in, the main 2 is Nino, which has 1 million standby targets, can all 14,000 choose your trade instances in a turn. So they're going to stand by exactly what they want to. But the main one is Hasu no Sora, because they can guarantee their 1/1 combo that just sits in their back for the whole game, like turn 1, because you clock red, play the Foolish Burial, put the 1/1 there, slam the standby, and then you got your 1/1 out and you milled 6 and plus, because that's what the combo is.
Yeah.
And then it sets up your entire rest of your game. And then at level 2, you Foolish Burial the finisher that heals when you play standby. So you Foolish Burial it, summon it, heal, and then the 1/1 you flip from turn 1 dance the finisher. It depends on the standby deck, of course.
That's fair.
Blue Archive has a chance to do it too, because they're getting a second set and they have a Foolish Burial.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get the standby. How you feel about it. In the meantime. For the occasion, Ember Amane is a 1/0 3500 with a soul trigger and the following text. Continuous. This card cannot side attack. Auto. At the beginning of your attack phase, if this card is standing and you have one or less other characters in your center stage, all of your characters in your center stage get the following ability until end of turn. At the end of this card's attack, look at the top card of your deck, choose up to 1 Phase Invaders or Phase Connect character from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room. Additionally, auto, when this card attacks, if you have another Phase Connect character, this card gets plus 3,000 power until end of turn.
Is there another dual laner?
I think the current draft of this set is like she is dual laning with herself.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I don't remember at all if there was another one actually.
No. At least for right now, she is just dual laning with herself. She doesn't have another dance partner in mind.
This card without context to the other thing is it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, it has a soul trigger as a 1/0, but I think that might be the best thing I can say about it. The hand plussing ones of dual laners have never been like super relevant. Like the only two dual laners I've seen of recent that isn't a climax combo, at least, Tokyo Revengers, which they play both of them, but they're trying to do the stock one because of the other one is actually an Oshino Ko, and it dual lanes with Vanilla. They don't even dual lane with it. They just do it so they have they have costless 2 soul attackers, because that ability isn't tied to their dual lane effect.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they
That's like
they end
a
up with like
thing.
7/5s or 8/5s vanillas, and that have swing for 2 soul, and they just try lane that. Or in games where they're like falling behind, they will do the dual lane and just get the hand build. But in this particular outing with this combo, the fact that it pluses hand, but you've only committed 2 cards to the board, you're going to be discarding forever hand size typically with this one. It's not absurd, but the fact that it does have like the soul trigger and it is a dual laner, so like you don't have to commit things. You can use other resources and kind of like do your overhand size. You're going to be like ditch a couple of things, get your top checks with the Ricky, and then that way you have your knowledge for your top ads, and then you're like, all right, cool, I played over that, and then kind of go from there. It's not like the play patterns are.
When I was thinking about like dual laner stuff, I hadn't considered that like the reason that people like the stock ones more is because by nature of the dual laning, committing less hand means you're probably going over. I think just because like usually am like a press buttons gamer, meaning that no, actually I usually am not dropping the hand size unless I am like literally the primary times I've done it is playing, at least recent memory, it's playing the decks that Blank has handed me, because he keeps handing me decks where I actually understand how to maintain hand in those. But most of the time, if I'm doing my own shit, it's like, oh, what happened? I hit all the buttons and my hand has magically disappeared. Oh well. So a card like this is great for a gamer like me.
Yeah, you're the Master Duel equivalent of making SP Little Knight and then passing. Like no matter what,
Don't
I don't
call
know if
me
you've seen
that.
that.
Oh God. I'm at least gonna make Appaloosa. I'm not gonna stop at SP. Although, no, fuck, I can't even say that because I sometimes have done that in Paleo because I needed guys. Oh God, I didn't need to be seen like that. At least I don't try to do it turn 1. Oh God.
Nah, bro, turn 1's the only way.
Ah. All right. Well, this card can get the event, which is somewhat relevant.
Because we were talking about payoffs, right?
Yeah, let's talk about this event. It's a 3/2 event. If you don't have a Phase Invaders character, I mean, we abbreviated it to PC, but you know, this card cannot be played from your hand. Put the top 4 cards of your deck in your waiting room. Deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the total number of soul in the trigger icons of those cards. Put this card into your memory. Invaders is the generation that is committed to soul for various reasons. In Ember's case, character model is that she is a quote-unquote fire starter. She punched the sun out and got magical powers for it because she is such a gamer that she was able to punch out the sun.
Sure. Well, yeah, they have logic or something. I don't know.
She's a shonen protagonist. It's fun.
Dude, just punch the sun, eat the moon, lick the sky. Just like what you know what I mean? Just like come up with whatever and say you did it to a random. I killed the ground. I punched a star. Like what's that attack name from One Punch Man? Like collapsing star phase cannon or some bullshit.
Oh God.
That Boros uses at the end of it. And it's just like, no, what punch? And it's like, yeah, I punched a galaxy destroying beam or whatever.
Yeah.
What is the thing that could make you sound the strongest and coolest? I punched the sun.
Yeah.
Is there a reason this only checks forward, by the way?
Because it goes to memory, I think, something like that.
Okay. I was just like, I was remembering T Wisdom.
Hold on. I can check my reference to tell you the card I based it off of. It's based on a Review Starlight card.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Very old.
Good luck, brother. I mean, the card's cool. I've talked about T Wisdom and what was the one from Homeboy set? Oh, Judgment. It was called
Yes.
Judgment, which such a funny name.
That's a metal ass name.
It's for an army deck. It was really funny.
Yep.
For an army deck of all things, you get Judgment. I mean, I like Memory, but also it doesn't
Oh.
do a whole lot in Memory because you're level 3 when you play this.
Memory at 3 is like fairly irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like if there's a game where you like get 4 of these and resolve 4 of these, then you're cool as hell. But like I don't subscribe to this being like that insane.
Okay, I figured out where my things came from. The reason there is an actual reason it does go to memory, which is y'all know the Don Machi card that lets you play that Crozo's event from hand.
Crozo's magic sword. I don't know. Remember what the is? It also just a Crozo?
It's part of the combo thing, right?
So this isn't even like on a combo. There's also the one in Slime that's like actually like on a combo, like the Drago Buster thing. This card has a card that lets you play this effect during attack phase.
That's what I'm just saying. It's like it's part of a combo, but it's like even when that, it's like it's such a struggle.
Respectfully, it is not the most insane thing, but it's like putting this is blah, blah. Also the T-Rism needs Ira specifically on field, which I think gives it the extra card dig on top of the counter.
And counter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that card being a counter is so. There's only one person I know that plays that. But when he killed somebody with T Wisdom,
Is that the Avatar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had Ira on board, and like, I think because my friend really likes trolling, so he played T Wisdom, killed him, and then I think he literally quoted Iro after.
Oh my god.
It was just like the opponent was not happy.
It is time you consider the important questions in life.
Rise with that. Ember Amane. Got yourself a 2/1 with the Soul Trigger, 5k power line. And during your turn, if you have 3 or more other characters on stage, character gets 6,500 power and opponent cannot play backups from their hand. Sorry, events or backups from their hand. So you're sitting at a fat 11-5. And then during the when it's played, auto ability, if you have 2 or more others, you draw 2, and then you can choose 2 in your hand and discard. This is card filter on and more or less early play killer. You don't quite hit the power range on its own against things like standby, but it does give you the card filter, which is really good.
There's an interesting like mix of stuff going on here. How is this one a common and that other crappy 2-1 you made a non-common?
I know, right?
What the fuck?
The nature of doing different kinds of filler at different times.
I don't think this is filler is the thing.
The thing that I experienced the most was like finding climaxes, and card draw is generally the thing that you want. And having card draw on a character, like on a traded character, was like really useful. So like this wasn't always like dead. It had more utility than just being like your standard early play killer that like refunds itself. Like paying a stock to just filter 2 is good within the context of like or sets that don't have like really good climax acquisition.
Like Overlord plays the made thing to dig into climaxes turn after turn, and they're already on bar. Like, if climax assurance is needed, let's see, they printed a double rare version of Heaven Red because like sits massive turn or some bullshit. Now those profiles also like refund this, but you trade that for like the other utility that you can't back up against this card. So I mean, I still think it's probably worth draw 2, ditch 2s, and as Uma Musume taught everybody, I think. Yeah.
Thinking like, do you have the thing that you want or do you not? And can this get you there?
Ooh, you pair this with the Mocha card too? Ooh, that's
if you don't see what you need off the top, then you're like, okay, cool, let's mill this too, and then you're like dig too deep, or you find what you want, then you're like, cool, I know I got what I want.
I'm giving it the plus because you can pair it with the Mocha to like check 4 cards for it.
That is true.
That's nuts.
Yeah, she has this thing. I don't know how big of a thing it is, but like at some point she got into like having like a burger named after her or something, like an M burger, because Ember burger for Monte.
Borg or
Yeah, she's also a very much an American gal.
I like her hair clip in the last 2 pictures.
Yeah, that's a nice
Agree.
one. She's a cutie. All right, our last character in yellow.
Oh lord, I'm scared. That means the finisher's time coming up.
Mm-hmm.
This is Kaneko Lumi. When this card trigger track reveals a soul icon, it gets 1,000 cross turn, and then when it reverses its battle opponent, you can stock kick them. I'm not sure how to feel. Like, I mean, this feels like a common. I'll put it that way. Like, I don't even think it's a bad common, but it's like the power condition's kind of not good. Now, admittedly, with how overloaded zeros get, right? The stock kick probably still has uses, but we already saw the stock bomb that's like pretty cracked. So I don't know how much this would ever see play, but like it's better than JoJo's clean cut. I'll give it that. JoJo's clean cut has a condition where if I think it's if they don't cancel, that's when you get 2k. So if they they cancel the attack and you don't clean cut because you're only 1/5. Part
Within the
5 JoJo's is
context of
suffering.
this card can be a decent out to other shenanigans. Like, this is one of the few ways to get around the Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like there's a bunch of like overloaded zeros. I think I said this in Fire Emblem. Zeros, because they're so small and they almost they feel like they can just overload them and it's still not broken, when arguably that's not quite how it works. But they'll just like throw abilities, keep throwing and keep throwing and keep throwing, and it's like, oh, it's 500 power. It's like, well, that doesn't matter. It still swings. So you can have like all I'm an on death plus 3,500 in the center. Hi, I still can't get over that.
Can I?
But so if you just overload a card with like this, still answer all of the overloaded cards, other than Aqua, I guess.
Yeah, other than the ones they specifically engineer, it is still doing what it needs to do, which is get rid of the stuff that cares about being seen in winning room. And the soul condition is partially because she's an Invaders. Invaders care about soul. She is, I think, the member that cares about soul the most. I think every card that she has cares about a soul trigger, because as you can see by the multiple little icons on her head, she is a sentient star.
That's dope.
Is that the star that got punched?
No. Ember punched like her world's sun. Lumi is not that star. She is a specific star, which I believe I swore that I had this down here somewhere. She's a star in like the Gliese galaxy or something.
I think that the power condition on this could actually put it up to a 4K for that triggering a soul icon.
So like, I could say that it triggers. It gets 2k until end of turn. I did the math off the Zuko in Avatar, but like, I don't know. I feel like the odds that like either having a 2k or a 4k Hakuro, just depending on trigger, is like, I feel like that's a little bit too much for a common. I feel like the 3k cross turn, it feels a little bit more common to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I kind of like the ability to like have another shot at like cycling it, because if she's 2k on your opponent's turn, your opponent has more opportunity to swing over it. Whereas like 3k cross turn is like, all right, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit more defensible, especially because we do have ways to get like level 0 assist or whatnot on board to kind of help it out. But yeah, all right.
She's got a lot going on in her outfit here.
Mm.
Like she's got the buns up top with the star stuff, and then like tummy, but also we got giant sleeve, like
The diamond ring around the sleeve. the jacket that she's not wearing that she's wearing.
Okay, I can't say anything about like jacket wearing, not wearing, like the entire time. Literally never wearing her arms in the sleeve of the jacket that's there, or like a cape than a jacket.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
can't knock
Yeon's
the not wearing the jacket. The jacket thing I've seen in a lot of things, especially recently. I don't think I mind it. It's like I want to see more art.
Oh, I don't have anything against it. I was just making the comment. It's kind of funny.
Oh, fair. Yeah, it is funny. It's funny every time it's pointed out, actually.
Yeah, this is also the only picture of her with this outfit specifically because it is her. She has so many fucking outfits, dude. Oh my god! Literally today she did her 6th outfit reveal.
That's insane, actually.
She's always getting new things and wearing them. This next one I think is one of her more original base outfits. This is Star Thief Kaneko Lumi. Yeah, so that was the other thing. Like she's a star herself. She also was like the galaxy's greatest thief in quotes. So she's going around, she's stealing people's stars, which would mean that she'd be a level down in Yu-Gi-Oh. 2500 level 0. When this card is put into your winning room from the stage, she does the Ame thing, which is a resave for any card with Soul Trigger. I printed Ame in this set. It felt like a cool card to have for Soul Triggers. You don't do the thing it does in Hololive, at least in just this set one, where it's grabbing pants triggers. You're grabbing her finisher, which is on a double soul. That's kind of like the main thing it's doing for her. Or she's grabbing her Genmate's Magnify climaxes. One of her Genmates in this set that's printed has a Magnify. The other one is also getting a Magnify. She'll be able to grab any of her Genmate's climaxes.
Bank or standby also, or the other stock souls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are plenty of targets, just not like pants at the moment. So it's not like strictly the thing it does in Hololive, but which is the thing I got it from, but it is still grabbing climaxes.
Alright. I think this might be a hot take. I don't like Ame profile because it's not worded the same way as like Event Rize or the experience card we looked at that was also the stock bomb. If you whiff a soul trick, you still have to.
Oh yeah.
I've never liked it because level 0s are good, and I want to pick up level 0s. And yeah, I'm gonna give you credit here, JB. So far, we have not seen a level 0, and one of the level 1 combos that you on has 2 pieces of it that also both do not have soul trigger. If you wanted to go that route, now the other combo does, but its climax is not. So we're in like a funky situation here to where you would have to be almost building around. Apparently, the stock soul wants to see soul triggers anyway, so we'll see exactly how good it is, but I don't actually know how good that is. I'll go like that, I think. Now, if it was worded like Event Rize, I'd just be like on this all day, because it's essentially just a Rize that can grab climaxes, but not level 0s.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best that it's not worded like that way, at least in Hololive, but...
I wonder if you changed it to be a resave wording, if you'd have to change the budget on it or not. I think that might drop it to 2K somehow, but I don't know. I don't know if we have any way of knowing the math on that automatically.
Yeah, I think it would be a lower power line for sure. I almost would think it could go down to like a 1.5. Generally on this one, it's like you will typically only proc this if you have decent knowledge. Like it's one of those that like can be what you want when you want it, if that makes sense. Or sorry, it can be what you want when you need it. If this card and you have like the top check 2 or the top knowledge of what you're digging for, or if you're in specific deck states. If it's in the right situation, it is the card you wanted, but it doesn't always show up in that. I have an S evaluation, like I go from like F to S, so A is like not the most amazing slot, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
So,
wait, I do S also, but I'm just like, it is still niche, right? Because like you're only playing it in the deck where you're like spamming a bunch of soul triggers. So I'm giving it even because it can also grab climaxes, at least for, and a lot of the climaxes in this set have soul triggers. Like the only ones that don't are what, bar and door and choice, I guess.
Yeah.
But then the choice stuff has potential other soul trigger synergy. So even if you can't grab that climax, it still has like utility.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it higher grade because it's probably pretty good in this set specifically. But like Ame as a profile,
you're kind of working my way down to like an A-. So I think you're about right.
I think we're on the same page here. I think we're on the same page. It's just it's like you got to build your deck around soul triggers, and then this card becomes really insane.
I think it's fine to have those in a set though. Like overall, like you kind of want some of those like cards that aren't in every list, but then in some lists, like you play them in higher counts, or I do include them in like even as a one-off splash or something.
Oh, I agree with you. I just don't think I think that affects the grade of it because it's not universal.
Yeah.
Per se.
Agreed. I'm realizing that Blank is going to end up on the finisher. That's funny. All right.
Here we go again. Ooh.
So next we have...
Look at this. Oh my god, it's Neko Kyaneka.
Just me.
Yep, that is you, Kaze.
Time for the beach. We got Nya. Nya. We got another Lumi. The last one is Lumi, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We are set. All right, so it's 2-1-6-5, and when it frontal attacks, gets X power, which X is the number of this card's soul times 3K. So you're gonna be swinging at 12-5 with climax, 9-5 without, and depending on if you trigger a soul or not, it can go bigger. Quite a big assassin. And then if it's level 2 or higher, battle opponent becomes reversed. Reveal top card of your deck. If it is a Phase Connect character, you may choose one Phase Connector in your character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it is a plussing assassin. Quite good.
I like this, actually. Is there any other way to pump soul in this set, or is it just slam a climax and call it a day? Because, like, if you don't have climax that turn, it's a little small, but there's other power pump in this set. This is White Schwartz. There's freaking Dragon Maid has like 40,000 power pumps. They don't have any other damn utility. They got 40,000 power pumps. So, this is another thing where it's like, I could see this card seeing play, but probably not much of it. And I don't know how hard up you're actually for it, because the level 1 combo is so insane with the one with the soul trigger, the first one we looked at.
I just like the fact that this is essentially like you're gonna win most every combat with this one, and so it's like a one-stock creep character that you can attack with, and then you get a salvage of what you would need for the next turn. So like if you just needed salvage for your finishing turn, then like this just kind of facilitates that.
If you get the reverse and you hit the thing, it's just a pay one salvage. Except the pay one also attacked.
Yeah, we don't have any direct soul pump other than playing the climaxes and triggering the high soul amount you're going to be on if you're running a Lumi-oriented deck. We have room for that in set 2, so it's maybe a thing, but that might also be... I don't know. That may or may not end up be too good depending on how that is worded up. But yeah, this also, like, she was using this as like her main outfit for a while. I see a lot of clips of her in general, just because one of the, I think, better known Phase Connect clippers has taken quite a shading to this goofball. I say goofball. That's probably not the right word for it.
Chaos Gremlin?
No. Gremlin probably is accurate, but also not quite the right. She has very strong Reddit vibes.
She's an animal.
She has very strong, like, she's not 4chan, that's Pippa, but she gives very, like, online woman. And I don't know. It's hard to describe without being, like, without saying things that are hard to quantify.
Careful with your words there, boy.
She's
Careful with your word there, boy.
Yeah. God. She for the longest time she was like half offensive to me because one of the clip intro that the guy kept using used a word that I don't like, which is what makes me think of her as like internet. But I think she toned back on that partially because of that clip situation. I think it gave her like the wrong vibe, and the company got onto that, which is funny. She's got like she's a very interesting person, very interesting personality. I'm glad they picked her up. And I'm glad they get her cat girl outfit. Because,
Dude,
damn.
Neko Kaneko. Neko Kaneko. Do you get it, guys?
Yeah, she also does a very good cat noise. That's the other
Yeah.
part of the intro. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Wait, okay, hold on. Pause for a second.
Pause.
Is she not wearing bottoms
It-
there?
No, they're just
I,
like low cut. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, bro. Like, look at the hip. It's not there. She's either doesn't have them, or it's that thing around her thigh, and she's taking it off. Like, what the fuck is going on there?
Hold on.
Leave it to your imagination.
Let me
Okay,
consult.
dude, where's the SR version? We need this in rose.
Okay, so she is very much wearing a bottom, but it is just
Okay.
that strap is hanging dangerously.
So it's
It's
failing,
underneath
is
her
what
ass.
you're saying.
Yeah, she's like mid taking them off. Like, I'm not joking. It's around her thigh. It is under her ass.
It is. You're not wrong. Oh God. We should move on to the next card before we dwell on this too
Okay.
long.
All right.
This is
All
a
right.
rose.
Not yet. Rose custom sets coming soon. Or
Oh God.
something. I don't know. I don't plan on making one. I don't care that much. But all right. Here we go. Across the Horizon, Kaneko Lumi. On play, you heal stock. Discard cost version of it.
Mhm.
Oxel. When this card attacks, if Shining Stars Ahead is in your CX area, you may pay the cost. If you do choose one of your characters, and the character gets 4,500 power in the following ability. This ability activates one time per turn. When this card's trigger check reveals a soul icon, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent 2 times. When this card attacks, do it. I don't know. If we consider you double this and you put it on the restand, you can get burn 1 4 times.
Yes.
Big caveat here is your other 2 finisher lane Nella. So I actually don't think it's that bad. Like, I don't think it's actually that insane. It's really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
It's like really cheap.
Cost efficiency is the payoff here.
Yep.
So if we take thing like Suzuri from Hasu no Sora, she discards 2. Your opponent mills the bottom 3. If there are no climaxes there, then you can burn 1 4 times. So you're discarding 2 at a chance for it. But technically, you can go for that 3 times. Or the more likely one is you do 1 raw, and then you set up 2 bottom deck things. There's a whole thing with it. But yeah, I don't think this is that crazy. It's 4 attacks and then probably a bunch of ping ones. The weird thing is you can't even set this up with the Ricky.
Correct. You're
because
only
you want to
seeing
attack
only
with
seeing
the
2
2
deep. You
Lumis
need to see
first.
3. You need to see 3 or 4 deep in order to make this one work.
But man, that's interesting. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's broken. It's oh, man, it is cheap though. We got to see what the early plays are in this set and just how like spammable they are.
So the main thing is that because it is so cheap, you can play this in combination with the back row attack and or the re-stander. So
yeah, or
you can
both. Jeez. Okay.
you can get a turn if you play like a little bit like a gremlin-y on as far as like building up your stock, because at that point you could theoretically play like a standby and stock soul, but like I wouldn't, but you could, and get like 5 attacks with 2 of them having this effect down, and also one of them being a direct attack guaranteed. That, by the way, that Panko has 1 soul. Important note. So even with like the stock soul down, she's only going up to 2 soul.
Wait, which card is only getting 1 soul?
The back row attacker. The back row attacker card, it only has 1 soul on it. So its direct attack is like for 2, 3 if you trigger. I just felt like that was important.
You only gave this thing 1 soul?
Mm.
Oh, wait, okay. Double checking. Does Stock Soul only give soul to front row characters?
No, it gives them to all. So it would be a direct attack for 3 with the stock soul down.
3, yeah. 3 or 4 if you trigger.
4 if you trigger, 5 if you trigger another one. But like it is still like with that climax down, it's in that like that line of like, because like a lot of the time like 3 or 4 is like a little too high as far as like I can't like 2 is fairly easy to stick compared to like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are generally considered the best numbers.
Yeah. So like it sits in that range. It's not like over swinging, which I mean the other back row attackers that I see are like the 2-1s, and I wanted to kind of keep it in line with that. So you can put this cancel on your restander. You could put it on the back row. You could also put it on itself in a, and just have it resolve its own if you know that you're going to be like hitting for seeing a trigger. There is not currently a Musashi in this set. There will be a Musashi come set 2. Because part of the issue I was having was that I printed a Musashi that was too good. So what was happening was that your finishing turn would be like 2 of this, and a like just a busted ass Musashi that was like a Musashi plus like an on reverse burn, which was at the time that we were testing it, it was too good.
Imagine that.
Who would have thought that many instances of damage is too good? So we've kind of pushed it into a different spot where now it's like you can still get an insane amount of instances of damage. You have to work for it. It's a little awkward, but like back row attacker synergy, you can swing like 5 attacks in a turn if you get there, and it's not impossible. But by itself, the payoff really is the fact that you can literally like have it pay for itself and it be super lean because it is a stock healer. That is like the strength of the card is with itself.
How good was the on reverse burn? Because like they printed that card in they printed a card in not shiny colors, Cinderella Girls. That's like pay 1 burn 2 on the turn it's played, and then also had an on reverse burn.
I mean, it was Musashi plus like an on reverse. I think it was just like an on, or maybe it was on attack burn.
Are you talking? It was that red one, right?
No, it was a yellow. It was another Ember.
Are you talking about the Cinderella Girls card?
Oh no, I was just talking about because Jay and I were testing something at some point, and I vaguely remember a red one that we were looking at that had like multiple instances of damage. That was off combo.
Oh God, I can't think of that one at the moment. It was the one I'm thinking of was like a yellow, and it was Musashi plus some level burn. I feel like it was an on reverse like burn 1, but maybe there was some earlier draft that was even crazier. It panned out where it was like, because like you could trigger the Musashi off of these ping ones canceling.
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I get it, but like that's assuming you even hit. So I'm sorry, I keep comparing to other cards. It always sidetracks the video. There's a card in Zombieland that's like, I think it's its level 3 effect. It might not even be its level 3 effect, but it is if this card triggers a soul trigger, burn 3, like during the turn it's played. Like for free, literally, literally like no cost.
I mean,
don't give him ideas. He's getting ideas.
There's a Sao card that's literally like on opponent reverse flip top if it's a soul trigger restand this. So like I see how that happened.
Blue Archive has a restander that's at the end of this card's attack, your opponent mills the bottom 3 cards. If there's no climaxes, stand it.
Right.
Like there's a bunch of these like weird effect versions of it.
The very first card that we reviewed in the set, the hand to double trigger, that can be used as the facilitator for this instead of the restander if you need it. If you're needing to ping for like little 1s and 2s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting that this card is deadly. I just don't think it's broken.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not broken. I think all in all, I think this card is fine. Like 10k power range with like heal the stock, like it's sitting at like a majority of this is like TD level stuff, right? But it's like it's so much more involved that you're like it's not a TD entry level player kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh,
Yeah,
notably
yeah.
that level 0 would be swinging much. It'd be plus 9k if you gave both effects from 2 of the finishers.
Yeah,
that is really funny.
Yeah. It gets to be It gets to be a 10k, yeah, like a 10k level 0. Good times.
Do they have a like look at 3 rearrange bounce a character style card?
Okay, if they don't have one in set 1, I know that was on the list.
It's on the giraffe in Review Starlight. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck. I think you have to keep them in the same order though.
I was talking about the 3/2 version. Because the king from Slime is look at your top 3, rearrange them in any order you'd like, bounce one of your opponent's characters.
Yeah, well, I think of it as Inverse Princess, because Dal 2 was like the set that had that for me. So, okay.
I think King was the first one that saw like a ton of play, at least.
True.
And then Escanor existed, and they put that one on the ban list in English.
Yep.
I think is that also on a King? I don't know Seven Deadly Sins very well.
I think it might be. I think you might be.
Which is funny, because now I can just call it King or King.
Yeah, King or King. King Crimson.
So,
oh no.
If we were to revisit this card, which I feel like you could almost make this better, because the unicorn in Azure Lane Volume 2 exists, where this effect exists, and it doesn't cost a stock, and you just get it in its own lane.
I took this off the Review Starlight card, and I like this the way it is. I have no complaints about this card. I do like it the way, leaving it the way this is. Set 1 does not have a bounce profile like that. That is a thing to put on the list of things to think about having, at least. But there is a card that would guarantee a lane of this going off, because it digs 6 and puts 3 back.
Did you put the event from Puzzles and Dragons in here?
No, so the same art that I was using for that Musashi that I was talking about that didn't make it, I repurposed that. That would be another strong consideration as your third lane.
I thought you just copied because Puzzles and Dragons has an event that literally just does that.
Oh god.
In memory.
No.
So it's pay 1 mil for salvage based on soul triggers. This card goes to memory, and you flip 2 of it in your memory face down, and then you check 6, and then you can move up to 3 off the top or leave them there. And then you do your nay combo, because your first one's now guaranteed to hit 6 soul trigger.
Yeah, no.
So you burn 4, shuffle 3, burn 4, die.
No, this is just the ancient level 3 effect, where you look it up the top 6 and you choose 3 to mill.
Okay. Seems about right.
I mean, that would facilitate this a lot easier, though, given you have a lot of it's so card or resource light that you can just have other facilitators to make this more likely.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely like that card when I bring you on for set 2 Kaze. For numerous reasons.
Oh, the TD, the eye that I was talking about does deal 3 damage on Soul Trigger and gets 2k power, and it's a TD card.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This ability can only be activated up to once per turn. It's placed on stage from hand. If this card's trigger check reveals a Soul Trigger, deal 3, and then this turn it gains 2k.
Which card is this?
It's in the Zombieland's trial deck.
That's correct. That's cool.
Okay, yeah.
It's a free burn 3 if you can get the Soul Trigger.
Oh god.
It also just has during your turn, if you have 2 or more other, it gets 2k, so it swings in at 14 minimum if you hit the Soul Trigger.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's kind of cool. I thought about putting it in the standby deck, but it has to be played from hand.
Right. I mean, I was running freaking Kali and 8 standby, so that's not that's not that out of the question.
Zombieland's 8 standby deck is suffering. Literally every level 3 has an on-play effect you can't use because you're standby.
Right.
It's so sad.
Yeah, in the deck in the set that's about zombies. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. Instead, they were like, no, let's make this shot combo, summon a bunch of zeros from Grave, and that's our zombie flavor. That and the manager card we talked about earlier.
God. All right. What do we have? Do we want to have letters we can put on this before we go to the promo and end the color?
I have no idea. I think I want to give it this, but I don't know, because there is a chance you could just whiff.
Yeah.
It's not a super high chance, but man, whiffing would feel so bad.
Yeah, like the fact that it basically guarantees the lane that you're putting the power on is good. Like it mitigates that just a little bit, but even still, like your trade off for playing a stock soul is having this payoff. It can be a little painful.
Also, I mean, like Kaze said, Unicorn is awesome. It's just like the burn part of Gura. Like you just do the Gura's second part without the first burn too.
They can keep it. They can keep that combo and shove it up their collective asses.
It's fine. I don't
like.
I don't like playing Unicorn anyway.
That's the issue. I loved her set one card, and when that combo first got revealed, I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually really cool. But now that I'm in hindsight, I'm just thinking about like, no, I don't want to put this in a customs thing ever, because I'm gonna break it.
I know you are.
Yeah.
You break everything you touch. That's why you bring me on to reel you back in, like this fish we're about to look at.
I'm gonna wreck it. All right, last card is my read, and this is the CEO himself, H2O Fishman Sakana. Buy Phase Coffee, not sponsored. If they see this and they want to give me sponsorship money, though, I'll retroactively make this sponsored. Anyway, this is a 1/1, 3500 with a solo trigger. It can be played without fulfilling color requirements because he's the CEO. He can go anywhere. This ability activates up to 3 times per turn. When you use an act ability, choose one of your characters. That character gets 500 power and a coffee trait until end of turn. He also has his own act effect where he chooses one of your Phase Connect characters. That character gets 1500 power till end of turn. Notably, coffee is not a dead trait in this set. The cards that care about it, one of them just gives it to your entire board anyway, and the other one gets it when it meets an experience condition. So it is somewhat relevant.
I think I want you to make the auto ability on this card not limited to your character. I want you to be able to. I want to give coffee trait to my opponent's character.
Choose another character in that. You know what? I think I'm down for that. Hold on.
I mean, they have given other level to any character, both yours or your opponent's.
Yeah,
so it's like it's whatever.
The
Just a
emissary
coffee trait.
of Hell, Spider-Man. Yeah, I am gonna make that change. So yeah, choose another character, give it coffee. He's selling it to them. I like that.
This one gets W for me because of flavor. Like this is just a W in all methods.
Yeah, as far as like a promo, I feel like this is like
This is a perfect promo.
Yeah, like you would. This is not a build around. This is not like absolute filler. If you got this, you'd look at it and be like, oh, "Okay, that's kind of neat." And move on with your day.
In terms of like an actual grade, I don't really. I mean, sure. It's got a soul trigger, whatever. Actual grade, who cares? But this man's got a gun. I'll give him whatever grade he wants, but he can't talk to me right now, so I'm just gonna leave it as this. I think.
That is perfectly fair. I feel
Okay. Whatever grade you want. I don't even like coffee, but I'll buy it if you just put the gun down.
Oh, God. And with that, we come to the end of our first part of the Phase Connect review. Join us next time where we continue looking at some funny cardboard, that time of the green variety. Bye-bye!